Hello, everyone, and welcome to So Many Levels. We're gonna play some Dungeons and Dragons.
Woo!
Ooh, yeah.
Needed to burp right away, and it's not the perfect way to start a stream.
Bold announcement.
I am Christiana Ellis. I am the Dungeon Master, and our players tonight we have Mark Kilfoyle as Alaric, the Dwarf Fighter.
Good day, good day, good day.
We have Starla Hutchton as Nira, the Elf Cleric.
Greetings and salutations.
Vivid Muse as Amethyst, the Human Druid.
Hi.
And soon, hopefully soon, joining us will be Chooch Schubert as Otterkey, the Tiefling Paladin. Congratulations, you guys. This is episode 50 of our campaign.
Woo!
Congratulations to you for putting up with this.
You're doing all the work.
Also, more or less, I think the numbering is a little bit fishy just because I think that there's one or two episodes that I didn't number traditionally. But generally speaking, here we are. Episode
The numbering
50.
system they use in this world is somewhat different than what we're used to. That's all. Occasional numbers have to be avoided for, mythical reasons.
Sure.
Maybe she's not using base 10.
Yeah. It's
Such a nerd right now.
It's, base 10 goose. It just has a magical goose in there that just bumps it once in a while.
Base 10.2.
So, here we are. We're going to recap everything where you guys are since it's been a few weeks since we played. I'm going to briefly point out to those listening that this lovely tavern ambiance we're hearing right now comes from Sirenscape, which is a nice little player for this very purpose of having little ambiances and effects and stuff like that. Unfortunately, this is the way I've got it set up right here. Our players don't hear it, so you lucky people at home are the ones that get the full experience here.
We have to use our imagination. It's probably something we should do.
I need to figure out exactly how I might better be able to play it for you guys. There's one option that I know would technically work, but then we start running into weird once it goes to like the final processed video, it balances the audio strangely and it messes everything up. It sounds weird. Anyway, though, you guys, the party, the heroes of legend, have made your way back to the city of Gorn, which is where your adventure started 100 years ago and change. And you have come here because Melicanth, the wizard, who has told you everything you know pretty much about the stolen moment, has told you that you are all being hunted and that she needed to meet you where you met each other. And so you've concluded that meant the Flea-Bitten Badger Tavern in Gorn. However, now that you've returned, things are a little different. For one, there's a wall around the city. It's a lot bigger. The tavern has changed management, is now called the Hammerfall. And there's also a whole bunch of the Tashmian army camped around the city, where they are in a strategic location to help facilitate the negotiations with the hobgoblins that you guys fought a while back. And so coming into town, you chatted a little bit with some of the soldiers and some of the town guards, made your way to the tavern, and discovered that by and large, people are impressed with you guys because you managed to face down a hobgoblin army. And that's pretty cool. And so you also got introduced to Brigadier General Rolf Thaddeus Singh, who is the general of the army in these parts, who told you a couple things. One, that you had been invited to go meet the Tsar in the capital city of Pashan to the south, and in thanks for dealing with the hobgoblins, you guys were going to be given some kind of accommodation. assuming that you wish to travel to the city and meet the Tsar. But he's also just invited you for dinner. We had Autarky, Nira, and Amethyst up there speaking with the general, while Alaric and Andri, your halfling ranger companion, waited outside just to make sure you guys weren't being followed by any suspicious individuals. But as we finished up last time, you guys had pretty much just met back up together in the common room of this tavern, currently busy and occupied by lots of drinking soldiers and townsfolk. And it's mid-afternoon and you have dinner plans later, but otherwise you're at your leisure.
Time to drink.
All right. You heading back to the bar? You've had an appling already. Amethyst has had 3.
Sure, I will go up to the bar and get another drink and then head over to those soldiers that were so kind earlier.
Yeah. They were prepared to give up their own room in this filled to capacity inn to allow you to stay, just because they're impressed with how cool you guys are.
I forget, did the general talk about that at all? Like that
He said that he would ensure that you were given accommodations.
Okay.
He
That's
didn't
what I
get any more
thought.
specific than that.
Shoot.
There's our Chooch. Get in your own window there, Chooch.
Yeah, go get in your own window, Chooch. I don't need help with my headphones or nothing. Just go on.
Glad to have everybody as we actually get things started. But yes, this particular soldier who had made this offer was a little dismayed when he saw that you were going up to meet the Brigadier General, just because he thought he was going to get the cool story, and then he's not sure what was happening. So, are you you obtain another appling from the bartender who
I can hear.
This one doesn't matter.
who raises an eyebrow at you just to sort of say, you went and talked to the general, huh? But, through eyebrow language.
So I will nod and thank him for the drink and wander over to that table of soldiers.
All right. So they scooch over on a bench to make room for you. But how about you, Alaric and Andri? You guys just came in and you see your buddies seemingly just kind of making themselves at home.
Hey, it's their party, to be honest. So, we were just gonna find a table and get something to eat and drink ourselves. I think we were watching to make sure nothing was going wrong, but we didn't want to, crowd them in case they were being watched.
So I see Alaric and Andrew standing at the door and go, guys, come over, try the appling, come on.
I guess everything's okay then.
Everything's good.
Yeah, Andri gets a big old smile and then heads over to the bar. She's standing up on her tiptoes to look over the counter. One, please.
Yep.
She gets one. How about you, Amethyst? Are you getting another and joining
I am.
Nira
I'm
at that
getting
same
another.
table, or?
She gonna be passed out before dinner.
We'll see.
You guys realize
It sounds like a challenge.
yeah, she's looks like she's doing okay, even though she kind of pounded those first 3.
They're just like candy, guys. I mean, really, I don't know what you're so worried about.
Do they have something other than appling? Because that doesn't sound my speed.
They do have ale. You get your first glance at it and determine that it's probably not what you would call good ale, but it is not, hard apple cider with corn liquor in it.
It would be better after the 5th one, maybe. I'll have a round of that. Whatever Andrew wants as well.
She gets an appling.
Figures.
I give her a little clink. Give the glasses, my girl.
He says, well, it's the local specialty.
It's clear and it smells like sugar.
You're at my wake, Alaric. Have a drink. I just died. Have a drink.
I think
I'll order one of those two then.
I think one of the
Thank you.
soldiers who's waiting for, like, moving over to make room for you guys, just kind of says, "You died? What?"
Oh, I'm exaggerating. I'm sure. I'm sure.
Who hasn't? Huh? Right.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Well, come on, Sid, join us. I'm Lieutenant Fresco, and my comrades here would love to just bend your ear, or rather, I guess you bend our ears. We want you to tell your story. That's basically what we're looking for here.
Wow. If
Well,
you're
we
gonna tell a
really can't
story-
tell the story without Archie, because he was so instrumental in just. I'm actually really interested to hear it from his point of view, because outside
Yeah.
looking in was a little crazy.
He's in the loo. He'll be here in a minute.
Well, hopefully, yes. I think you guys definitely noticed Archie sort of duck out the back in the direction where there's a sign with a little painted arrow.
Little tieflings around.
I was gonna say that.
Tiefling Donna Tinkling. Sorry, I'll be back. Like I can almost hear him now.
So,
So which story did you want to hear? There were
Well,
few.
well, if you've got a few, we're interested. I mean, the one we kind of know about is the the hobgoblins, but we've also heard
Oh.
that you guys might also be the Heroes of Legend players, which was kind of a funny thing. And also, did something happen down at the lake? Because
Oh gosh, do you believe everything you hear? I mean, like everything.
I don't know. It's just, the guys who kind of know the spirit stuff say something just big happened. Like something shifted the whole spiritual landscape down that way. And then you guys show up from that direction. I mean,
Oh, we were just camping. I mean, people make stops on the road, as one does. People have to sleep or, rest. So, I mean,
there's Archie from the little tiefling's room. So everyone has now gotten a bunch of soldiers to scooch over and make room at one of the tables. You've obtained drinks. They're wanting to basically have you guys tell them all about your heroic adventures.
well, what they really want to hear about is the hobgoblins, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's our only story, right? I mean, yes. Let's talk about those hobgoblins.
They're looking at you a little funny, like, you guys are holding out on us? I mean, what other
Oh,
She's
do you have?
being-
she's a little far into her cups, so
And she's
you'll have
being
to
a bit
excuse
modest.
her.
I'm sure her tongue will be loosened by another round if you can afford it.
And they kind of look around and kind of say, yeah, between us, yeah, but also, you went and talked to the general? Like, was he just wanted to get the story on his own first? Is that what's going on?
Oh, he had some message saying that something about an invite to Bashan, but that's not really a big deal.
Really? I think
Oh
that's a-
yeah, Alaric. Yeah, Andrea and Alaric didn't know that yet.
Tell them later. Shut up.
What? You're going to Pashan? Like,
Oh well,
did you
I
get
mean, maybe
invited
later,
to the
but-
palace?
Well, yeah,
Oh man, that's so cool. I've only seen the palace from the outside, but it's amazing.
It's an emperor in Bashan, right, Christiana?
A tsar.
Tsar.
The
Okay.
Tsar.
Well, I mean, I'm sure the Tsar wants to hear the story just as much as you all do. So
Well, He's not here buying you drinks, though.
That is true. That is true.
Very
So right
good.
now, you guys are my favorite.
All right, cheers to that. And they all kind of clink.
Try this.
Hey.
The look on my face when I try the appling is like it's still too sweet, but it's not too bad.
So you guys are doing a lot of dancing around and not a lot of telling us a story. So come on, spill.
All right. This is one of those times that I really wish Mugen were with us. He's much better at stories.
You see the fox guy?
He is.
Where is he?
Is.
Important fox guy business.
Exactly.
All right then.
So see, how did it start that we got to Villanocta and suddenly these hobgoblins show up at the gates?
Yeah.
And there was a whole thing. They'd taken some guards hostage, and Mugen wanted to be a hero, and
Hey.
Andrew
Didn't
kind
I
of says,
didn't hear the
these
story.
hobgoblins showed up asking for them by name.
Yeah.
yeah, and we had no idea what was going on, what that was about. The craziest thing.
Yeah, we didn't know them.
Never met a hobgoblin in my life. So,
Really?
yeah, I'd never met one before.
And then you met a whole army. You really overdo things. You know that?
Well, go big or go home, right?
So
Yeah.
how did the hobgoblins know you? Like, what did they want?
Well, at the time, we didn't know. And honestly, it's still a little fuzzy. I'm still not really sure what that was about. Just had some kind of... Oh, wait, I did...
Yeah.
Yeah,
Rising Phoenix.
Mistaken identity.
Catching Phoenix.
yeah.
Oh, yeah, the false.
Catching Phoenix. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, so there was
That
a little
was-
thing that happened. It was a while ago, and we'd totally forgotten about it. But this guy just wasn't. We just insulted him a little bit. And
Archie.
I mean,
I had never seen or met a hobgoblin, and he looked like, he meant us harm, like serious business. And I kind of commanded him to grovel at my feet.
Yeah.
I'm sure he loved that part.
And wasn't he also in a dog tank?
well, but we were trying to be
no.
nice and not kill him.
I didn't want to
and-
kill him, so I hog-tied him and put him in a cage, which happened to be
Disgusting.
a kennel.
Yeah. He didn't take it well.
Wait. Are you saying that? Are you saying that that hobgoblin was the hatching phoenix?
Well, not at that point, probably.
No, but he kind of made it his life's mission to, seek
Yeah.
vengeance.
When,
He had a
when
little
did
bit
that
of a
happen?
grudge.
Which I respect.
Oh, it was a while ago. It was before you would, it's no big deal.
They're older than they look. They age well, especially this one. I pointed Amethyst.
Okay.
Sunblock's important, y'all. That's all I'm gonna say.
Well, you look good.
Use sunblock. It's important.
Anyway, so yeah, there was a whole thing at the gate, and threats this way, blah blah blah. We're gonna invade you, blah blah blah.
We're coming
So-
for the city unless you come out. So we
Right.
But it wasn't just this guy, right?
We didn't know that yet. We just knew that the hobgoblins were coming for Villanocta for us. So we decided to prevent any harm from Villanocta happening. That we were
Wait.
just kind of remember that time. No, I can't tell you that story now. But you know how we sometimes do things without planning a lot. That's the yeah.
No.
That's
Never witnessed such a
right
thing.
there. We
Well,
found
I mean, our choices at the time were, hide, and all the people outside the city would probably get massacred.
Wait a minute. Are you
No.
talking about when the Hobgoblin army was outside the city?
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, the army itself never got that far. It was like
Well, true.
when the confrontation outside the gates was just like a small group of them that had
I
come
heard
to
someone in the
parlay.
talking about this story, and I thought it was somebody else. You never told me that was you.
Well, it didn't seem pertinent at the time.
Soldiers are just like staring in disbelief, is like, so how do you know them? Like, what are you guys
They
seem
found
like
me in
you're-
a hole. It was embarrassing.
So they kind of look at each other, kind of like, well, you said it.
Okay, look, it was a mine in which I've been trapped for
It was a
a
very
number
It
of
was much
years.
more than a hole, to be fair.
Well, they saved my life. That part's pretty clear.
Well, you did a fair amount of saving on your own, so it's
Yeah.
not like you're entirely useless in this situation.
I
You're-
was surviving. That's about all I could manage.
And you were trapped with a homicidal mining robot.
I think we're getting off track with the story.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe.
So yes. So the army was, what was it, about a half a day's march or half a day's
Mhm.
ride from the city at the time. So we
Yeah.
just decided, you know what, we're gonna go. And Andrea here decided to accompany us and kind of show us the way and guide us, because she is just so, I mean, there is so much bravery in this little package that it is astounding, you
She
guys.
I'll drink
kind
to
of blushes, but just like, I'll tell you guys, I mean, I thought they were marching off to their deaths. I didn't. I had no idea that. It seemed crazy. They're just, I think anyone else, they were already in the city. They could have just stayed within the city walls, protected. Nobody would have blamed them for it. But they chose to leave and go to the Hobgoblins just to protect the city. It was amazing.
Well, it would be hard to sleep at night knowing that we had left all of those people out there to their fates. Like, I can't imagine.
Andrew
being
just
like
kind of
that.
points to you and kind of says, "You see what I'm talking about? Who talks like that?"
Pretty damn heroic, I think. I'll drink to that.
Hey.
Cheers.
Another round, barkeep. Keep it going.
We're gonna be so trashed at this dinner. I can't wait. Oh, I'm so excited.
The soldiers, by the way, do seem moderately amused by the idea that you guys are getting hammered with them before you go have dinner with their commanding officer.
You've always been more of the people, kind of thing. So yeah.
So, Andrew volunteers and leads us, being super amazing, especially given that she thought we were going to die.
I know. How brave is that?
I was the scout captain of Villanocta, and I initially thought that we might be, just leaving, like to lead them away. But then they decided to just go right into the camp, and I didn't feel like I wasn't ready to do that, and so I watched them march toward that army, thinking I was never going to see them again. But then,
So the best part is that we get to we meet the first guards outside the army, and was it Chooch? I'm trying to remember. Was it Archie? Did you convince them to let us keep our weapons?
Well, yeah. I mean, look at the odds. They're an army.
But it was amazing. You should have seen him. He played those goblins like a fiddle. It was fantastic. But obviously odds were against us anyway.
And I mean, look at him. Would you ever let this guy go anywhere with weapons if you knew he could hurt you? He might want to hurt you, or you try to hurt him. Another round, please, barkeep.
so they're bringing more for you when you ask, by the way.
I'm covering the tab. I let the soldiers off the hook because I know they don't make that much.
So we get there, and they bring us straight to this hobgoblin leader. And
Hobgoblin.
I'm globally.
hey, I've got a couple apparings down at this point.
Keep going, girl. You got this.
So we walk in there, and they it is revealed to us that there's a bit of infighting, so we maybe played on that a little bit. But hobgoblins do have their honor, strange system as it is.
Very proud.
They're very, very proud. And so it's a kind of a trial by combat situation. Right. So we, not wanting to face an entire army, decide, you know what, let's just challenge the person in charge and see what happens.
Hatching Phoenix, yeah.
Right.
The person in charge of an entire hobgoblin army.
Well, but the thing was, there were people that didn't really like what he was doing and some of his methods, and we maybe convinced one of them, a really big one, to, put aside the whole agenda that the Hatching Phoenix had and side with us. So that he, obviously it's his own self-interest, because then he could be in charge, right?
Oh, well, we really just, pointed out how he was not behaving like a hobgoblin. Sure, he united all the clans, but he was going just way out of bounds and just doing things that didn't make any sense. And,
Wait,
So,
this
soldier,
wasn't just a leader of an army. This is a person who joined together the hobgoblin clans.
well, yeah, the soldiers
yeah.
are kind of nodding along and just saying, yeah, it was, I mean, the hobgoblins have been in, up north for hundreds of years, but they were always they have fought more with each other than anybody else. But then this hatching Phoenix guy gets them all working together. But then all of a sudden, the whole army marching all at once. That scared the crap out of everybody. I mean, nobody knew what was going on. Why they were so crazy.
We'll see, and neither did the hobgoblins. The rest of them,
Yeah.
And they weren't very happy to find out, that he was just doing this for his own means and not for the hobgoblins, as a whole. And so they didn't really like that. Like I said, it's all about finding the little chink in the armor and just poking at it. And so we poked at it.
Yeah.
And then, there was that whole, combat thing.
Yeah, we did have to kill him because he
were on fire for that, Archie. I mean, like, literally, you were on fire. It was great.
A few times.
Flaming tiefling.
But he had spent 50 years, trying to build power, and I guess he made a pact with some devil and got all these magical powers, and it was a tough one.
Everything can
not to
go
crack.
bad in one really bad day.
A couple of the soldiers at one end of the table kind of whisper each other a little bit there, and then one of them just kind of says, "So, like, no offense, man, or anything, but like this guy made a deal with the devil that you weren't, like, that's not your thing. I mean,
No. I despise devils and demons.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, good, I guess."
They're nasty.
You should never judge a tiefling by his horns.
Yeah, sorry. The lieutenant's kind of just saying, yeah, don't mind these rubes. They don't just, they don't get out and see the wider world that much. They're fresh out of the slums of Pashan, recruited to make a better life, and this is the first time out in the world for some of them.
Oh, I know that feeling. It wasn't really all that long ago that I left my own home, to explore the world and find adventure or make my way,
No, how old are you? I mean, elves, it's like, who knows, right? But
Hey,
Who knows?
rude to ask, don't you think?
is it? I'm sorry. I just.
Oh, it's fine. It's fine. I don't know. Life's been a little strange, so I don't know that I would say I'm a typical specimen, but pretty close. I'm just over 200, so
They're pretty impressed.
I don't think typical at all, but you could say it if you want to.
So we had to behead the hatching phoenix, and we named Doltor the Untouchable as the new leader of the army. And
Wait, you named him?
you know, they'd head home. And,
Archie gets inspiration for remembering that guy's name.
Nicely done.
I had to look it up.
God, this was literally like almost a year ago.
Wow, yeah. So so you know when they agreed to head their way and kind of open up some lines of communication.
Right.
Andrew's like, tell him
as
about the kids. Tell him about the kids.
So as a kind of a thank
Getting to
you
fight
for
kids too?
well as a thank you for allowing him, giving him a means to come to power, he allowed us a few concessions, and that was including taking the younger folks that they had taken captive. So we weren't able to get as many of their prisoners as we would have liked. So we couldn't save them all, but we saved as many as we could.
You know, I didn't get my silver's worth when I heard the story the first time. Not even knowing that it was you. It's kind of weird.
Oh, Amethyst had on the way back though. She did the cutest thing with the puppies. Oh, it was adorable.
Bunnies.
What about the
The
puppies?
kittens. No, they were kittens.
Kittens.
Yeah.
Kittens.
I summoned a bunch of kittens for the kids because they were scared and writing in the card on the way back, and so it distracted them from their sadness and missing their folks and stuff.
It made all the difference.
It was pretty cool.
And Andre says, it's just like, when I saw them coming back on a cart, alive, with a bunch of kids, and I mean, I didn't even know then that the army turned around, but yeah, that's where I decided that I wanted to follow these guys and see what they got up to.
Well, I hope it's been worth your time.
Scary as hell, but yeah.
We are not boring.
And we certainly wouldn't have survived or done as well as we have without you, Andre, because you have been with us for a really long time, and we really appreciate you.
Here's to Andre. The shortest
Andre!
Aw, you guys.
Another round, barkeep.
All right, so I'm gonna give us a little bit of a hazy wipe transition here.
Super fancy.
Yeah, the afternoon starts to become early evening. You can see outside the windows of the tavern that the sun has gone down, and at a certain point you're just engrossed in this conversation, and Nira, you get a tap on the shoulder. You turn around, and it's this sort of this attendant to the general, sort of tapping you and just saying, "If you are capable, the general would still like to dine with you, or if you would prefer to reschedule for another evening,
You have to. I'm
the
gonna have to
general
roll
would understand."
Hey,
Do we need to do a roll or anything?
Nah.
you can't talk to her like that.
Throws a glass. Just kidding. I did not throw a
I'm
glass.
so sorry. It's just it's been a long few days, and this is I think we just really needed to relax and unwind. But I think we can still do
died.
the dinner.
Yeah, we're good.
We could still do the dinner, right? Right, guys?
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Well, then, if you would follow me, I think we'll have some fare that should interest you, and hopefully the good conversation.
Maybe they
It's kind of
should.
a little slightly strained smile.
All right. Well,
My spidey sense is tingling.
thanks,
I turn to the guard
fellas.
beside me and realize he's dead drunk on the table. So I turn to the other guard to start talking. He's also dead drunk on the table. Damn. Why
You
don't they have more dwarfs?
The attendant just says, if you are all traveling companions, you are all welcome, of course.
I wouldn't want to crowd the fancy
Oh
meeting.
no! Come on, Alaric. It'll be fun. Let's go.
Yeah.
But I didn't have anything to change into. I'm still.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
I mean,
None of us changed. We're good. Come on.
it's kind of.
It's fine.
I died.
He's a soldier. He's a soldier.
I was dead in this. Let's go. You're good.
Yeah, you really should probably change that.
I know, right? I probably smell. There's got to be a smell.
I wasn't going to say anything, but I kind of don't want to walk behind you anymore.
Yeah, I'm a druid. You should really say something. I
It's
just
kind of a earthy
otherwise
smell
won't
most of
even.
the time. That's fine.
I don't know. We could
Irving.
also imagine, like, every time you turn into an animal, like, what does that do?
That's fair.
You
That's
poof
fair.
into a freshly clean version of whatever it is every time?
Absolutely clean, fresh from the bathtub. Yes. Yes. I mean, river or whatever.
So,
All right, Andrew. Let's go get some grub with the fancy people.
I'll give a little wave to the soldiers who are not drunk. Bye. Thank you so much.
yeah, the lieutenant, who is kind of the one to speak out, he's still, doing all right. And he's just like, you guys are all right.
You're pretty all right yourself.
Don't forget to eat something.
Right.
So this attendant sort of leads you back upstairs, and it's to the same room, sort of a suite. In fact, actually, it occurs to you that it looks like it's probably bigger than any of the other rooms. It might be their VIP room, or for all you know, it's the innkeeper's own normal quarters or something. But as you enter, you see that some of the furniture has been sort of shifted around, and a bigger table has been brought in, and so there's room for each of you.
As we're walking along, I actually do walk behind Amethyst, and I'll use cases of prestidigitation to slowly clean up her clothing.
Ah, thanks,
Additional
Ruby.
smell.
All right, so are you not doing it in secret then? Or,
I probably can't at this point, although I might try.
yeah.
Oh,
So
I super wish that I had detect poison or whatever, or purify
There wasn't
food
a
and
good
drink
enough
right
of
now. Really wishing I had that.
Yes, as you enter the general's room, he is in his sort of full dress uniform now. It's a little bit more presented, and he's he's dressed for dinner, so to speak. And as he gestures that you should have a seat at this table, you see that there is actually enough food for all of you there, and most of it is pretty ordinary stuff you imagine prepared by the the inn here itself. There's some mutton and bread and cheese and apples and stuff like that. But there's also a bowl of some sort of a fruit that you can't quite identify. It's sort of plum-sized and sort of brownish, but it's obviously some kind of a fruit, and it's kind of in a bowl. And he has 3 bottles of wine with fancy labels sitting on the.
Only 3, huh?
We pre-gamed pretty good. I think we'll be all right.
And so he does watch you enter and just say, "Well, I wouldn't be much of a military man if I didn't know the need to blow off a little steam. I'm suddenly doing a different voice. This is actually the general, not that weird Sean Connery thing I was doing a moment ago."
He's also been doing a little pre-meal preparation.
Forgot his own
He
voice.
just says, "I do hope that you are capable of conversation still. I do have many things I would like to inquire about, if you are willing."
No, sure,
Absolutely.
sure.
Certainly.
Oh
We're
yeah.
fine.
Thank you for the dinner invitation.
Of course.
Nice to meet you, General Sir.
Yes, and you are?
Just call me Alaric.
These are our companions.
Well, this one's Andre.
And she kind of salutes and says, "Officially, Scout Captain of Villanocta, and currently on special assignment to accompany."
You never actually said you had a title before. Why didn't you tell me you had a title? Should have done
Kinda
more
just
with
says,
that.
I think I've mentioned it a lot.
Recently. I didn't know.
Recently.
Okay, well, yes, that's me. No hard feelings, Mr. General, sir. He's just like, of course not. No, it's an honor to have you as my guests. So please sit. I do hope that you will forgive me dispensing with small talk and getting straight to the heart of some of these important matters.
Certainly.
So I'd like to real quick. I actually did take Purify food and drink, so I am actually going to very quietly cast it on all the food in the room because I don't know what that brown shit is, and I'm a druid. It makes me nervous.
So,
I'll recognize it. I'm gonna purify that shit.
So, looking at that spell,
All non-magical food and drink within a 5-foot radius sphere, centered on a point of your choice. with
But
the
so
range.
that requires verbal and somatic components, meaning hand
Ah.
motion and spoken. So I'm going to ask you to make if you're trying to do it secretly, you can do a sleight of hand check.
Ask for the little druid's room and
But I have to wait. It's a 5 foot.
It's within a 10-foot range, though. So
Oh,
you
yeah,
have to
yeah.
be you have to be within 10 feet of the 5-foot radius.
I think I'm gonna try the sleight of hand.
Okay.
I'm just curious to see. 16.
All right. Yeah. You are super sneaky with your spell, and he does not seem to notice.
Cool.
well, we could all aid that by talking at him.
Talking at him.
Well, it's just as well. She did
I can
fine
talk
too.
with
So
the hands.
yes, you cast the spell, and so now you are certain that the food within that range is free of poison and disease. Amethyst is anyway. The rest of you wouldn't know. That.
Right.
They
Doesn't look-
don't really care.
It doesn't
I mean,
look that badly
they're
cooked.
drunk.
I mean, I ate mushrooms for 4 years. This looks fine.
Yeah. Sturdy
I
stomach.
guess one other point of order is I would like to do my
Your divine
device
sense.
and scan the room, scan him, and everything to see if
Do a
there's
devil
anything
check.
evil afoot.
You do not detect anything within your range.
Cool.
Just to be safe, I interrogate the turkey. One leg at a time.
And I inspect the bottom of my cup.
Make an intimidation check.
Get it.
7.
The turkey was pretty timid already, and you have scared it into silence.
Scared meat tastes better.
I
So-
can argue.
The general kind of just says, first, I do have questions for you about your encounter with the hobgoblins, but I'm also receiving some new reports. You passed through Elamoncha on your way here, did you not?
We passed through a lot of places. Yes.
Yeah.
Do you have anything you would be interested in sharing about the current state of Elamoncha? I'm hearing reports that there are enormous spiritual disruptions in the area.
Well, it's kind of a mess. Like there was a house hydra thing that attacked us. It was the craziest thing. So can confirm definitely some weird things going on there.
You don't know anything more about what the cause of those weird things might be? Can you speculate?
Definite shift in power amongst the spirits in the area, and it's going to go on probably for a little while based on what we saw there.
Make a deception check because you are definitely omitting information.
Definitely.
Well, as a cleric, I can definitely say that there's a lot of chaos. I'm not entirely sure how it's all going to play out, but I would imagine neighboring spirits might have a keener interest on the area now.
You can make that an advantage roll, Amethyst.
Oh, thank
because,
God. Thank
count
God.
Mira as aiding you there. Excuse me.
9. Up from a 2 though, so thanks for advantage.
Yeah. So the general raises one of his sort of big bushy eyebrows at you, and but does not press further. She says, "So it seems that your little band has managed to travel through many areas of interest in the last few weeks. An exciting journey for all of you, I'm sure."
Lots of places are interesting, that's for sure.
This world is full of interesting places. I mean, can you really blame us for wanting? I mean, me especially. You know, I love exploring the world and seeing all that it has to offer. Seeing where Alaric's from, the dwarven cities is just incredible.
They're
Such
okay.
amazing feats of architecture.
You get used to them.
Yes, I have been to Lenthic Gate once or twice myself. It is certainly a sight to behold.
It's all right.
Alaric, is it, you mentioned, you did not mention your clan name. Is it a touchy subject, or would you be willing to tell me where you hail from? We have many dwarven allies in the Empire, of course.
There's nothing really to say. It's just, one of the clans. Minor clans.
Very well. Family can be a delicate subject, I understand.
Delicate is not a word I'd use for it, but yeah, I get your sense of meaning thing. Nice turkey. My compliments to the chef.
And he's just kind of looks down and it says, kind of shrugs like, eh. Though if you do like this is ordinary fare, most of it, but these, and he holds up one of these brown fruits and he's like, these are dukkha fruits from all the way from Pashan. They generally speaking don't travel well, but I've arranged for some to be brought along. They're my favorite, of course. I do feel free to try one if you like. They are sweet, a bit tangy.
Oh, I'm definitely trying one.
Sure.
Amethyst reaches out and peels it or whatever he did to eat it.
No, you eat it kind of like a plum.
Right.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Chomp, 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 chomp.
Sweet and
Goes
tangy.
well with turkey.
It does have kind of a core like an apple.
Crunch, crunch, crunch.
I pocket my core.
He watches you do that and kind of just smiles.
True, it's
I was just thinking the same thing. We don't actually have much in the way of druids down in the south. I understand Villanocta has quite an impressive druid's grove. Have you had the opportunity to visit while you were
very
there?
briefly. I was there very briefly, and I just really look forward to going back.
Well, we have to go visit Barry again sometime
Yeah.
soon because he gives the best hugs.
It's
So,
true.
Beautiful place, great staff.
Deliberate Noise in the chat has thoughtfully reminded me to remind you, Alaric, that now that you have met this Brigadier General, you see his beard. And as I briefly mentioned the last time when you weren't actually there, is that this guy has a very elaborately groomed beard that is clearly very deliberately styled in a way that you think looks really strange.
Deliberately styled, like not any self-respecting dwarf would do, or
Right, yeah.
only
I
the
mean,
most
it's
respected
like
dwarves.
you're familiar with like braids or beads or all sorts of little things, but it's just a weird, unusual style. It's got wax on points to kind of make it do little splits and stuff like that. It's just sort of very like fancy, almost prissy by
Kind of
your
looking
by
down
your
at my own
aesthetic
beard.
sense.
That hasn't really been groomed at all for 5 or 6 years. Pick a piece of turkey out of the beard and straighten up a little bit. Can't have any human doing better beard than me.
So, I would inquire of a few of the individuals that you encountered up in Villanocta, and of course, do not feel the need to let me know any more than you are comfortable with. This is not an interrogation after all, it's just friendly dinner conversation. But I would ask a few, your take, your feelings about a few individuals, if you don't mind.
Well, I'm not really sure what we weren't there for all of that long.
I'm sure someone as powerful as yourself probably knows more than we do about the folks there.
Well, you see, I don't always have the opportunity to meet everyone in person, but certainly at my level, my function is as much politics as tactics. So these things are relevant, and sometimes the views of an outsider are nonetheless valuable. But even before we get to Villanocta, first, my understanding is that your preliminary terms made with the hobgoblins, once you have dispatched this hatching phoenix fellow, you made arrangements for the release of the children with one of the hobgoblin warlords. Is that correct?
Yes.
Yes.
What was your impression of this gentleman?
Honorable as far as hobgoblins go. Moderately intelligent.
I think he served the hobgoblins well in working with us. Didn't give us all of the excuse me, all of the hostages, but basically because he knew that the other hobgoblins would rise up and protest and it would be a bigger problem. Mm-hmm. But he did let us leave with the children, which was our main point, was to get them out safely. And the way that he handled it was pretty impressive, because he wasn't going for like a quick slaughter or anything like that, because he could have killed us. We took down the hatching phoenix. You know, we helped him rise to power, and he could have killed us right then, and he didn't, and he let us go, and he let us take the kids. So, you know, for what it's worth, being not political, I'm okay with the dude.
He seemed reasonable and pragmatic.
This is good to hear. In our negotiations, of course, they often will go on and on about their battle prowess, their strength and such. That is their tactic as far as negotiations are concerned, but it is often difficult to know how trustworthy any given individual might be. Despite the hobgoblins' fascination with concepts of honor, their definition of what is honorable is often divergent from our own.
Of course.
Yeah.
It did seem he was more keen to let his actions speak for themselves. Rather than, I don't recall
Yes.
a lot of bragging and such on his part, because he was so, he had developed a reputation for himself that nobody doubted and nobody would dare call into question. So I think that as long as you don't challenge him in that way, go in with that respect for him initially, then I think that would be helpful for you.
What sort of dealings have you had with the hobgoblins recently?
Well, the united army that had risen and marched under the hatching phoenix has broken into several factions, the largest of which is still led by this fellow that you met and dealt with. There have been splintering factions that have broken off, but by and large those are not the ones we have had to deal with. In order to separate themselves from the larger group, they have often had to sacrifice whatever spoils or holdings they had as a result. They've gone their own way for leadership, but had to leave behind whatever they had claimed. And so, in negotiating the return of territory and civilians, we have primarily been dealing with the individual that you met with, and therefore it's useful to us. And as such, our negotiations so far have been slow-moving. They are pretty insistent on claiming at least some of the land, which is a difficult sell for the Tsar back home, as you might well imagine. However, our foremost priority is the return of people they have claimed as slaves. We have arranged already for the families of the children that you rescued to be released, but there are still many left behind. Negotiations continue. I am not foremost in those discussions. As I mentioned earlier, I am the backup plan, if you will. So, while you were in Villanocta, our ambassador in that city is a gentleman named Bodhi Catalan. Had you any opportunity to interact with him at all?
Very little. There was a small incident, a misunderstanding, some mischief caused by an outside individual that is no longer in play. Let me tell you what for just a second. It was the Pashana ambassador that got framed for starting the fire at the...
No, it was actually the
No?
Dwarven ambassador.
Oh,
Oh,
it was
yeah,
the Dwarven
yeah.
ambassador. Okay, but it was the Pashan ambassador that was accusing her. I'm really racking my brain trying to remember all
No,
this.
he wasn't super involved with that particular incident. He was there when you met with the council and all. And he I think like he was around, but he wasn't one of the key players in that particular.
So who was the one? There was one that was very hostile towards us, and it wasn't.
That was actually the Baron's military commander guy. That was
Okay,
he was the one that really didn't like you.
So I'm probably telling the story way wrong. So
That's all right.
We've been drinking.
Tag was super shifty. Bodhi wasn't shifty.
Well, he
Tag was
seemed a little bit
shifty.
like a sleazy politician if you had to put an archetype on him.
right. I forgot. Where were we talking about again?
And he,
Version of Bodhi.
I think at this point,
Oh.
you guys are kind of mumbling amongst yourselves, and the general kind of is saying, yes, I see, the local delicacy agrees with you all.
I'm so sorry. No, I was just trying to refresh my memory about our time there. We didn't have a lot of interactions with the Pashan ambassador.
It's pretty forgettable.
I am not a fan of the man myself, but his family has ties with the Tsar's family. You know how that goes. Honestly, the Villanocta leadership is quite stubborn in their refusal to go ahead and join up with the Empire. But the ambassador, in theory, is meant to be our voice in his ear to persuade them, and yet occasionally from his communications I get the impression that he would just as soon leave things as they are.
Well, I don't think there's any real problem with the way things that operate now. They do like their freedom, and I can understand that. The desire to operate autonomously. So I wouldn't say that I really blame them. I'm not taking sides. I have no dog in the fight. So simply what I've seen and observed.
He says,
Politicians.
I take no offense whatsoever. I am well familiar with all of the arguments in favor of Villanocta remaining sovereign. I do not agree personally, however, I would not be much of a commanding officer if I could not easily make peace as well as war. So, I wonder, all of you, what brings you to Gorn?
More traveling, like just passing through, seeing things.
Passing through to where? Are you
I don't
headed
think we
for any
decided yet.
particular destination?
Had we decided we were going? I think we were thinking about going. Trying to think of the map. I think we were thinking about going west, seeing what was out that way.
Many recommendations? I never traveled this part of the world.
You are just sightseeing then?
Not exactly.
I'm not even going to have you make an insight check. You get the impression that he is humoring you right now.
I'm trying to dig from him what the current situation is, and by hinting at what the local area is like and where the fights are going on.
Oh,
and
sure.
all that stuff.
And he just says, there is, of course, many beautiful sights to see. I imagine you, Nira, may have better luck getting to visit some of the wood elf sites in the Fair Elf Forest. They are not a fan of the military, and so I've not been invited into the depths of the forest myself. However, smaller organization such as yourselves may have better luck there. And I would, of course, remind you that you are invited to the palace in Pashan at
Oh,
your
of
earliest
course.
opportunity, and you recall this morning you told me that you were busy.
Well, we do have some business kind of out that direction, but it's so what my friends and I are doing. The library in Villanocta has asked if perhaps in our travels if we could look into gathering information for the library. So that's sort of the intention of our travels, and there were a few specific plants and things to that area that we were hoping to get information on.
They got a hot tip on, blooming cycles and this and that. And have you witnessed the spirit of the library? And it's very powerful.
So actually, once you mention the library, he actually does kind of light up like he's actually interested in that, and he just says, "Ah, yes, I've heard great things about the library of Villanocta. I'm told that it is well larger than 3 or 4 of this building. Is that can that be
it's
true?"
amazing. So many books. Oh, just I could spend 3 lifetimes in there and not read everything. It's probably the most amazing place that I can think of on the entire continent.
And the spirit there, Logos, as I recall, what is their demeanor? Would you say?
So long as you're there to seeking information or giving information, that spirit is very open to a visit. It didn't ask anything of us when we first went, but when it found out that we were leaving, then that's when we were tasked.
It's a power that's difficult to comprehend.
Ah, yes. My understanding is that in Villanocta, their general practice is to keep the local spirits small and manageable, rather than allowing them to grow powerful and influential. Is that your experience with the city as well?
Well, they have a shrine set up that they sort of include areas to pay tribute to all the spirits in one place. So it's not. I don't believe that any one spirit gets more attention than the rest. Well, obviously I have my personal favorite, but
Oh, do tell. Are you a worshipper of one spirit in particular? Let me guess. I'm suspecting that from your heritage, you are a fan of the spirit of Ushama.
I am actually. That's very observant of you.
Well, yeah, I am an educated officer after all.
So what do you just because I don't get the chance to ask many people what they know about Rushama just in the outside world. It's not very common that people know much about that spirit. So I'm curious. What do you know about Rushama?
Have you accepted Rasham as your Lord and Savior?
Trying to recruit him. He's not an elf.
No, my boy, I have not. However, I certainly respect and admire the majesty of the mountain itself. I have not had any chance to interact with the spirit as such, but to be sure, Roshama and Lake Elamon are the two most prominent spirits in the known territories, unless you were to cross the bay, of course. Seeing the Golden Plains on the East Peninsula. But, indeed, Rushama has been standing elevated above most of these lands, even closer down to our territories in the south than up near Villanocta. It is a constant feature on our landscape and never far from our minds. His reputation, of course, is austere. Does not permit much in the way of travel through the mountains without appropriate shows of respect.
That is very true. Yeah, I could understand why most people wouldn't get up that way, but it is lovely country.
Is that where you hail from, my dear?
In the area, yeah. Obviously, being a cleric, that is where I have traveled from, to go to the outside world.
So not just a worshipper then, but actually a cleric.
I am, yes.
You have the divine magics?
I do, yes. I'd give you a demonstration, but usually it involves lighting things on fire or...
That is something to see. I don't have much in the way of magics myself. I always thought when I was younger that I might study and to become a bit of a wizard, but I didn't quite have the aptitude for it, I'm afraid.
Well, it does, it requires a certain skill set not everyone has, and sometimes it's really difficult to understand why some people can pursue that and others are shut out.
So, you will all forgive me for saying so, but you are quite an eclectic company. How did you all come to know each other and travel together?
Quite by chance, really.
It really was by chance.
Shared wagon trip. Hit it off. Met some strife and pulled together to get through it.
Well,
And we just always seem to be going the same way, so why break up the team now?
isn't that interesting how these sorts of connections can be made and yet change history with something that could have so easily gone another way?
Well,
Just about anything go the other way.
I think it would be easy for anybody, regardless of who they were, just by being in either, depending on how you look at it, the right place or the wrong place at the right time. It's impossible to tell what ripples you cause by any given action.
Ripples like, say, in a lake.
It was just a metaphor.
So technically, yeah.
Of course. So, tell me, are you planning to stay in Gorn long?
You know what they say? Here today, born tomorrow.
I need more appling.
He actually kind of leans back with kind of a belly laugh. That, I say, I like that.
Keep it.
I think many of my men would not find it quite so amusing as I do. They are somewhat impatient to be on our way, as you might imagine.
General,
Hey,
do you have children?
Traveling?
Well, no, I must say that the military is my family.
Oh, well, I imagine you'd be very good at it.
Thank you, my dear.
You say you're leaving soon? Look like you
No.
guys are setting up stakes here.
It is more a matter that they wish we were leaving soon, and we are not. And that is what is frustrating to them.
How long have you been here?
We've only been just set up camp here in the last week or so. But I suspect that the negotiations with the hobgoblins will go on for some time.
Yeah. Maybe be stubborn.
Yes.
Where did you say those negotiations are taking place?
They are north of here, somewhat to the west of Villanocta itself, northeast of the Feral Forest.
That's a long ways away.
Just a couple of days of march, if we were to mobilize.
I got short legs.
That's what horses are for.
Well, for
Horses
the
don't
night
march.
at least, I have arranged a room for you. I am told that it was a volunteered room from some of my men downstairs, and I would, far be it from me to interfere with such a generous offer from my men. I like to encourage such things in my officers, you know.
I think they're sleeping just fine downstairs.
We had a great time, though.
Those are good guys.
They are. They're good people.
They are. They are the best. And it is, does my heart good, I must say. I am at a station now which prevents me from fraternizing with the enlisted men as much as I would enjoy personally, but I must maintain a distance, you understand.
Yeah, that stuff sucks. Having to set yourself apart from everybody. I gotta imagine, that is terrible.
It is. But, it is an important duty that I have chosen of my own accord. At any rate,
Someone
the
has
room
to
is yours
figure
for tonight. If you are staying longer, we can make additional arrangements.
Well, that's yet to be seen,
kind.
but we do appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Real quick, do you have any news from Villanocta? It's been a little while since we've headed up there. Has there been any... obviously the Hobgoblin negotiations are a big deal, but any changes in the city or...
How long has it been since you were there?
Few
A
weeks?
month?
Well, I am afraid I think news does not often change so quickly as that in most times. I believe that the foremost item of discussion in Villanocta is still the hobgoblins nearby. They're a little bit too close for comfort still, even turned away. So I believe that the Paper Town slums outside the city have been in somewhat of an uproar. Then many of the poorer individuals there feeling that they are being mistreated and not protected so well as they should like.
It's understandable.
Sure, I can see that.
I tell you, this would not stand if Villanocta were part of the Tashmian Empire, locking all of those individuals outside the city walls with the hobgoblin army on its way. It's disgraceful. Excuse me, that's my just personal opinion.
Oh, that's quite all right. But
Yeah.
having been to the city, it would be difficult to let everyone in at once. So I do understand that there has to be a certain waiting period.
But we did have the same concerns that you did, which is why we went forward to meet the Hatching Phoenix because of all of those people that would have been, So we definitely feel for that side of things for sure.
Seems to me that you all have selected a duty of your own.
Yep.
Yeah.
I guess.
We help where we can, but we can't be everywhere and we can't do everything. So.
You gonna drink that, by the way? That other bottle? Just wondering, because we haven't really touched that one.
Well, it is a fine vintage that I have brought up from Pashan, and I am more than willing to allow my guests to partake. I only imagine that you would enjoy it more had you not already enjoyed so much of the local flavor.
I'm really just thinking about breakfast.
Oh,
I shall save a
Hey,
bottle for
dwarves,
you,
you know.
in the morning. How about that?
Hair of the wolf and all that.
So, on that note, it is starting to get relatively late, and since you're not just, having the spirited conversation from downstairs, I would imagine you guys might be starting to get a little sleepy. So, he kind of just says, "Well, I have enjoyed your company for this evening. Your room is just down the hall. Let me know if you need anything. Or rather, let my attendant know. I'll be asleep."
Thank you very much, General. It's been a
Good.
pleasure.
Good.
Yeah.
Get a good rest and yeah. Thanks. Did good. Turkey.
Just on the chance that you all slip out in the morning before I have a chance to say so, it is my impression of you all that you are out to do good in the world, and I salute that. Even if you do so outside of the auspices of formal government.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
We're just wandering where we can, I guess, and doing what we must. But I think we need to sleep now.
Yeah. Of course, I've had a long day, I'm sure. A long couple of weeks, I imagine. But so, as you guys make your way down the hall, the room is not fancy, but for people who haven't slept in an actual bed for weeks, maybe not weeks, I guess when your last night before leaving the Barrier Mountains, you got to sleep in a bed. But not since then. So it's pretty
rough
nice.
road.
It's this room clearly originally had just 4 beds, but it looks like they've dragged in a small halfling-sized bed as well, and has a door with a lock, and it's not super huge, but there's room for you all to kind of move around in there.
Okay. We are left alone.
Yep.
Close and lock the door. Ulrich's demeanor changes entirely. He straightens up. He turns to everyone and he holds his hand in front of his lips in a shushing motion. I'm looking around the room for any knot holes that might provide a spy hole inward, or any panels that look a little bit more like someone's hiding behind it.
Mm-hmm.
Looking to see if we get a little privacy.
Okay.
I would like to boop him with guidance.
All right. So with your guidance, Alaric, go ahead and make a perception check.
Oh, the guidance was helpful. 15.
All right. Yeah, you don't see anything. I mean, the inn's construction is not, it's not made of marble, so it's, the wood is uneven in some places, but there's nothing like a porthole. There's no boards that seem like they're loose or anything like that. Everything seems like standard construction.
Okay.
No secret doors or trap doors or holes or anything like that.
As a little extra precaution, I do try to encourage people towards the center of the room and in a whispered voice. So, the Tashmin army wants to invade and they're looking for a reason. Why else should we trust him?
Do we?
He seemed like he really wanted to make friends. And people like that only make friends because they can get something out of it or they're desperate. Now, he might be a bit desperate. But your friend said not to trust anybody in power, and I don't see anybody in power than him.
right.
True. I was just looking out for, questions and not giving too much information. Wow. Bastard.
He asked a lot
Andrea's
about
looking
that
a little
library.
wide-eyed, like she's still a little tipsy, and that had not even occurred to her.
Okay, so I have the spell Hollow,
Mm.
Okay.
and I'm trying to. Right now, I'm looking.
You mean hallow
Yeah,
or hollow?
Hallow.
Make a big hole in the middle of the room.
No,
There's a fun magic item I've seen that was used, actually, the Adventure Zone campaign had it. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but it's essentially like a ring that lets you change one letter in the name of any spell. And so, and then basically you improvise whatever it is that it would do instead, you know. So like,
cool.
so you could change hallow to hollow, for example, and then we decide what that meant. So that
Marion.
Yeah. Hallow itself is a 24-hour casting time, so that might not be one you're thinking of.
or at the very least, we can
Well-
ask that question. It does take 24 hours to cast, though. He's right. I'm just
Oh,
looking
it takes
now.
24 hours to cast. Oh,
Yeah.
shoot.
Yeah, because it
Yeah.
lasts until the spell. It's one of those places things you put in your home.
Oh, I thought it. Yeah, I was reading it wrong. That it says. I thought it meant that it lasted 24 hours. But yeah, because it does protect against like Fae from entering the areas. So that was my main thing. But if it takes a day to cast, it seems kind of silly that I'd sit around to do that.
We'll be leaving in an extra day. We just have laundry to do. That's it. We got to do some laundry.
We're gonna
Yeah, you
spend
guys go
full
off an
24
adventure while the-
hours to hollow a hotel room that we are then going to leave afterwards.
Yeah, no, that doesn't.
We'll leave it looking spick and span. We won't have to pay for it or anything.
That's silly. Okay. But yeah. Okay.
Has your friend made contact yet?
Oh, not that we've noticed.
No.
But I've noticed.
That's
Yeah,
not
I
like-
haven't been hit by any rocks or anything.
Does that mean that invitation to Bashan is a trap?
Well,
Everything is a trap.
everything.
Probably. They might still give you the medal. They just might hang it around your neck a little heavier than you like.
Maybe hook it around something that's
If they manage to turn the hobgoblin armies to their favor, they'll be able to take Villanocta and everything else up to the north, including the gate and all the dwarven lands.
Andrew kind of just frowns and says, well, they could do that with the soldiers they have here.
no.
Yeah, but then they'd have to fight the hobgoblins if they could have them on their side. It makes it easier. Or they might be looking for something.
But right now the hobgoblins aren't organized enough to take anything.
Yeah, they can sow chaos.
I don't know.
Maybe I'm reading it wrong, but he seemed awfully interested
was-
in Villanocta. And that library, what is that library thing?
Oh, the library is great.
It holds a lot of knowledge, right?
Right.
Knowledge is
Well,
something
I
that's-
think I got the impression that he had the same feeling about the library that I do. I don't think that was from a strategic standpoint.
I mean, he even said he's a good politician.
Well,
Knowledge is power.
he asked a lot of questions about.
But-
I feel like he asked more questions about El Mancha than he did about Villanocta.
Well, and I
That might
don't
have
think
been
that we
the-
said anything about the library that is different than what anybody else would say. It's
Yeah.
not like we had a secret password or something that we gave. We didn't. I
No.
don't know. I don't think we should worry too much about that because we either already messed something up or we didn't.
Oh, I don't think we said anything. You guys said anything that led him to know anything more, but he was
Okay.
definitely interested.
Yeah.
And if he get a hold of that library, or the the Tsar got a hold of the library, I'm sure they'd turn it to some interesting uses.
Well,
depending on what's in
anyone
there.
can go into the library right now. So if there was something specific anyone was seeking, I don't think there would be any problem getting. It's open to the public.
How many Tashmians did you see in Villanocta?
Well, I don't know.
I don't know.
They
Exactly.
don't really look any different than other humans. I don't know. They all kind of look the same.
And you said something about a cost?
Thanks. Wow.
Not you.
Present company
That's a
exception.
thinker. Wow. As the only human, I don't know. It seems offensive.
Ah, come on, Amethyst. We all know that you're far more than just a human.
I'd like everyone to make a perception check.
Crap.
I've been day drinking. There is no perception. Two.
I forget
Yeah,
what my character can
5.
do, to be honest. It's been a little while.
16.
It's gonna be high. Hold on.
That's the highest I've ever rolled. on
26.
perception.
Ooh, 26.
I only got 11.
Okay. Well, I think Nira is the first to notice. You guys are kind of huddled in a tight little pack in the center of the room having this whispered conversation, right? But something about the light in the room flickers a little bit differently, Nira,
crap.
which prompts you to sort of straighten up and look over at the wall. And where there was once an ordinary, wooden wall, where Alaric had just checked moments ago, you now see a doorway that looks like the front. It's open, and it's this fancy door that looks like it leads into the lobby of an enormous mansion. And standing in the middle of this doorway is Melicanth going.
That is
tell
the
me what
best
to
use
do.
of that spell ever.
I will just roll my eyes.
I summoned my dagger. I don't know who this person is.
That's Melicanth. Maybe some answers are.
I look at the rest of the Sinistrar.
I roll my eyes and walk through
yeah,
the doorway because why not?
She's
That's
an elf,
very
so
good.
she's still pretty put together. But those of you who know her know that she looks stressed.
Yeah, definitely get up and go.
I double check the door to make sure it's locked. I move a chair in front of the door to wedge it a little bit, and then I loudly proclaim, "I really need to sleep now. Shut up, everyone." And then I go for it.
She, this elf, she's a wood elf wearing sort of very fancy yellow robes, and she kind of just gives you. She doesn't seem surprised to see you, but she does give you a little bit like a. Okay. So, but she's hurrying all of you in, and as soon as you're through the threshold, she pushes the door closed, and then makes a little bit of a sign around it, and then she says,
What is this place?
"What did I tell you? You just had dinner with the bloody Tashmian Brigadier General."
What were we gonna do? Tell him no? I mean, you said don't trust anyone with power. That sort of includes you.
Looking up at her, I thought you'd be shorter.
She kind of you distracted her from the reaction she was about to have to Nira. So she kind of looks at you again and just says, "That,
I don't know if you
Nira, is a fair point, and it speaks well of your awareness of this situation that if such a thing would occur to you. I know you don't especially trust me, but we are all in danger, and it is good for you to all cultivate an attitude of distrust, which I must say I have not really observed from any of you up to this point. So you clearly distrust me more than, say, the giant dragon spirit, the brigadier general of the enemy army."
You've been watching.
Well, you're not wrong.
Where are we anyway? What is this place?
And you look around, and you are in fact in what you would guess is like just the front entrance foyer, grand opening hall of just a magnificently appointed mansion with marble floors and just elegant furnishings everywhere, and it just says it's a magically created mansion, as you can see. It's
Kind of
not-
bend down, knock on the floor. Doesn't really even sound like real stone. We could have tried harder.
It is.
Burn.
It doesn't
House burn.
actually exist. It's been conjured for our convenience. If anyone were to enter that room right now, they would find it empty.
Is this like a pocket dimension or an illusion?
Of a sort. It's similar to my workshop in the tower back in Dula Nocta. I have had need to vacate that particular castle.
Why?
You look stressed. You want some wine?
She actually, you get a little bit of a look like, boy, would she. But no, not now. You can't right now. She says, "Please, I imagine you all have questions. Come with me to the sitting room, and we shall converse. And I understand your feelings, Nira, and I don't know if the rest of you share her distrust. Alaric, I know you have not met me in person. I'm sure you have heard my name.
Oh, lots of stories so far. Not a lot of them good.
I will answer any question you have. The time has come for us to keep no more secrets from one another.
First of all, where's the stolen moment? You're not in a castle. Where's the stolen moment?
It's here. I have it.
That was easy.
I can
Well-
show it to you if you like, but perhaps we can have our conversation first.
Do you know what the thing actually is? Do you know what it can do? How much do you actually know about that thing?
Well, let's find out. Let's go
Yes.
sit down and have
Please,
a nice
this
little
is
conversation.
This is a conversation I would prefer to have seated.
Let's go to the seating room then.
Yeah. So she just leads you off to one side and through sort of a fancy wooden door, set of double doors that she pulls open, and there's a kind of a den in there with a lot of overstuffed sort of leather chairs and a big fireplace and sitting around a small table, and just says, "Yes, come in here. I'd offer you food, except you've eaten, haven't you?"
Pretty good, actually.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to snap. I've just been on edge. And so I imagine all of you find a seat, and she takes a seat as well in kind of one of the fancier chairs, and then just says, "Did you wish to begin then with the discussion of the stolen moment itself?"
Start at the beginning.
Well, it's ironic that you would ask that because, of course, you were all there at almost the beginning. The use of the stolen moment, somehow, through its manipulation of time, you all found yourselves there when it happened. And something that I am hoping will be a stroke of good luck for all of us, but we'll get into that. But you mean, of course, probably how I first came into possession of the stolen moment. Is that what you are asking?
Yeah, it's my understanding it was literally stolen.
Yes, but not by me.
Oh, I know that too.
Do you?
Hmm.
How?
Just tell your story first and then we'll fill you in.
Well, let me double check. I have to make sure. I'm gonna be bringing up some names, so I have to. Let's see. There we go. There we go. So, before I received the stolen moment, I traveled with a group of adventurers. Not so unlike yourselves, really. You, I believe, encountered us there in those caves. My greatest friend, my greatest ally, Talia, Princess of Pashan, was a member of our number. And through her family's network of spies, we uncovered a plot to summon a demon lord to our plane. I hope that I don't have to explain why we would be opposed to such a thing happening. And we endeavored to find out all we could, and the more we learned, the more we were frightened. For it seemed that not only would this organization of dark elves be capable of performing this summoning, but that the demon in question was extraordinarily powerful. And as skilled as we were, it was clear that it was beyond us. And so, as a part of our efforts to seek a way to stop this summoning, we did research into any way that we could find to stop it from happening. Not merely to defeat the demon if it should be summoned, but also to see if we could prevent the summoning to begin with. And our research, by and large, was not successful. The only thing that we found that seemed to be of any use whatsoever was discussion that demons and devils are so opposed to one another that a deal with a devil might perhaps be a way to stop a demon, and that was not something we were interested in, but it is the nature of our desperation that we even explored intellectually such a possibility. But we did not pursue that route. We kept looking. We did not want to create a greater evil than we sought to stop. And then a fey creature who called himself Pishwish appeared to us and presented us with a crystal sphere and told us it was what we needed.
And you just took it.
Did not just take it. I studied it. I evaluated it with my own spells to try to determine the nature of its magic. It was an extraordinarily powerful spell, but as best as I could tell, it would do what Pishwish said it would, which was, if the summoning were to occur, I could steal that moment from the timeline. Now this struck me as extraordinarily risky, and it was not something that we wished to use. But this character disappeared before we could tell him no, even if that had been our intent. And we were left with this device, knowing, having been promised, that it would do what we needed. Even still, we sought to prevent the summoning. We journeyed through the tunnels under the mountains. We fought demons. We fought dark elves. We did our best to reach the summoning and stop it before it could be done. And we failed. We arrived to see that the summoning had been completed and the portal was open. This demon lord was seconds away from entering our plane. And even still, I had my reservations. But Talia, my best friend, my greatest ally, insisted. And she had never led me wrong. And so we used it. And it worked. And it was only later that we realized the damage that it had done to the entire, all the dimensions. And once I realized, to my horror, what we had done, I sought to persuade my best friend, my greatest ally, that we needed to restore the moment we had stolen. I tried to explain to her that the fate of the entire universe hung in the balance. That the danger grew by every passing day. But she was queen by then. She had married in Villa Nocta. She had created peace. In the war between Villa and Tashmia, she had a son. If I restored the moment we had stolen, it would place all of us back there in that moment, with the demon lord about to emerge. I told her that the entire universe depended on it. And she tried to take it from me. And she would not relent. And I was forced to kill her. I've not told anyone this. And if anyone knew, I would be executed for treason. Even still. Even after all this time. And I hope that by telling you this, you will at least understand the extent of my desperation, and that you will help me to restore the moment and defeat the demon lord.
Could do an insight check.
Yeah, go ahead.
Everybody thinks the same thing.
I'm going to hit him with guidance.
18.
She seems extremely sincere. She seems devastated even thinking about it.
So here's the thing about that story. It's not going to matter in the end. While we were in Alamancha, I don't know, maybe you have sensed the disruption that happened out at the lake.
I watched it. I watched it happen.
Well, maybe what you didn't see was Alaric and I had a little separate adventure of our own.
Yeah.
Kind of our own little stolen moment of time, I suppose. A rather, well, I suppose all of the Fae are a little odd, comparatively. We had a little audience with, what was her title, Alaric? Do you remember? It was a really long Empress of Time and Gardens and...
Yeah, it was a lot longer than my attention
Heratimus.
span.
Was it Heratimus? Queen Heratimus?
something about baubles, too, I think. So we had a little conversation with her after we defeated her little challenge. And it doesn't matter what has occurred since then, because it's all going to change.
Of course it will.
Right. Essentially, she told us that the moment has to be restored, and the demon lord's appearance and emergence into this world cannot be prevented.
That is precisely what I am saying.
And I understand that, which is how I know you're not lying.
It's not the only thing I think that wants to make it its own presence here, though.
That's the that's the part that I had been going to get to next, of course. But the fact that you have already met her.
So who is it that's after you?
There are many, but not least is the... How familiar are you with the Fey Court?
Yeah.
No,
In a
well, I'm
certain
getting more
sense-
familiar by the day.
Yeah, in a certain sense, too familiar, having
Apparently, there's a
part of
bubble
it.
queen.
I have had time while you were all sealed within that tomb. I've had time to do some research. There are opposing courts in the Fey realm, the Twilight Court and the Dawn Court. They are opposed, but to call them enemies is oversimplified. But Queen Solomonia of the Shining Sun seeks the stolen moment. The Fey creatures, they do not think like we do. They are not mortal creatures like we are. And they are not spirits as we understand them either. They are something else. And their nature can be volatile. Queen Heratimus of the two is the one that I would be grateful that you are. If I were you, I would be grateful that she is the one that found you. She, I believe, is the creator of the stolen moment.
That is correct.
And my understanding is that she just wants it back.
That is my understanding as well. Okay, did Amethyst, did you tell us about the dream that you had with the huntsman?
Yeah,
She did tell us?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Completely lost my train of thought. Amethyst, did you want to mention that to her? I don't know if you want to hold on to that or not.
Which part? I mean, the thing where he said he was going to hunt us down.
Well, and he also mentioned the Queen of the Twilight Court, didn't he?
Yeah, Queen Solomonia has your scent and she'll cheat. That's the one that
Yeah,
he
she
told
has
me
her
about.
blood, but then we got the cuts on her hand, so I think maybe his perception of time was different from ours.
Yeah. Are you sharing that, or?
Yeah, after what she shared, yeah. So I share that. I don't remember the details. That I'm sorry about that. So I can't relay them. But Nira, if
She
Nira wants
looks
to.
really scared when you mentioned the bit about having your blood. She's just like, how would she have your blood? How could she have your blood?
See, there was this time we were in a dungeon crawl and we had to put a blood sacrifice. So that's where I'm thinking it came from.
Well, there was also on the way here, we emerged from the forest, and the second we hit the sunlight, and it kind of flashed my palm at her,
Right.
where it would still be cut.
I mean, as you're fond of
Would she
reminding
be able
us,
to
you
get
also
our blood
died.
that way? Then it's kind of, well, huh?
I mean, as you're fond of reminding us, you also died. That was weird. I don't know if exactly that's related. And what was that other thing? After you died, there was the thing.
Well, Melicanth says, I was able to see that. I hope you will not be offended to know that I was watching you all carefully as you proceeded.
Kind of creepy, actually.
You know,
When
when
they're
the,
For the
little.
assist.
how about this? When the universe itself is not at risk, I will allow you your privacy.
That's fair.
I had to
okay.
understand what was happening, because as much as
Yeah.
I had studied the workings of the stolen moment, what happened to it in that temple, the fragments that are embedded in you, that is not how it worked before. And I had to try to understand what was happening. And I think I do now. We are going to need a bit more energy from sealing the additional fissures, perhaps one or two more, depending on how big they are. We will need all of the fragments recovered, which means we will need to find your friend Mugen. And
Wait, so he isn't dead? Have you been able to find him, see him?
I have not been able to find him or see him, but the fragment must exist somewhere. I do not believe it could be destroyed.
So why are they trying to kill us? What do they gain by that?
I don't think they want to kill you at all so much as they want the stolen moment. I believe that they are using you to find it.
And you got it right there with you.
Yeah.
You sure this place is safe?
Right now, within
Look
this
around.
place, we are entirely shielded from all divination magics that I am familiar with. The Fey court is, of course, alien in many respects. I cannot entirely guarantee that they have no way whatsoever to track us here, although my guess is that
They don't want it yet.
I don't know what they want exactly.
No, they don't want it yet. It's not complete. I think they want it when it's full.
The spirit of Lake Elamon, before, boom, said that it should not be charged when they come for it. But I don't see what choice we have.
The spirit of Lake Elamon, despite its ancient ways, had turned bitter.
Oh, we
Cynical.
know. We know.
So bitter.
It had given up hope. It was convinced that there was nothing to be done and that we should just become fatalistic about the end of the universe. Believe me, I had this conversation with him more than once, and I am not sorry to see him disintegrated.
Well,
But
Okay, so
he was not wrong that Queen Solomonia wants it charged up for her own purposes, which, as I mentioned, the Fey creatures do not think like us. And the prospect of forestalling the end of the universe, including their own realm, is apparently not high on their priority list. They are far more interested in doing something fun with it.
still have a moment.
I don't know
So-
precisely. But
mean,
we
they don't even-
also need it full if we are to restore the moment and seal the break in time and space.
And summon the demon.
And fight it.
Kill
Yes,
it.
that too.
Fight it?
Yeah.
Destroy it.
We're not
We
going to
have
let
to
it
try
loose.
at least.
At least I'm not going to let it loose without trying.
So what happens if we restore the stolen moment, if we put it back? Are we even, is it no longer our problem because that we weren't actually there? And
I wasn't there.
if time
Seems it was
magic
implied
is so
that-
confusing.
Yeah, it seems that it was implied that the summoning will have always happened.
Right. So what I'm
we could
saying,
awaken to a world very, very, very different.
right, because we won't have ever been on the road when the stolen moment is taken. It will have never exploded. We will have never been brought back in time to see the original summoning. We will have never known any different.
Maybe. Or maybe
But-
you'll just wake up and it's the same day. Everything else has changed. Who knows?
No, you see, the moment was stolen from you as well. Because you were there. No, not you, gestures to Alaric and Andrea, just say,
I get it.
the three of you, you were there when we used it. If we restore it, you will be there too.
Yeah.
Now, it is true that the entire history of everything that has occurred since then
Timey
They will
wimey.
change, and
Hey,
For
I
that
probably won't
matter-
get stuck in line.
it will change dramatically if we are unable to stop the Demon Lord from emerging and wreaking havoc upon everything we know.
Best make sure
But-
you don't let it happen.
Yes.
Again.
But I am committed. We will do everything we can to stop the Demon Lord, but even if we are unable to do so, better to restore the moment and sacrifice the destruction it will cause in order to save the universe. I know that this is a difficult thing to comprehend. I struggle with it still. But if we do not change our current path, it will lead to the destruction of everything.
Yeah, we never get like fun choices like, hey, do you want to play with a kitten or a puppy? Do you want cake or sundae?
Hey,
No.
hey, hey.
Do you want to summon a
I've
demon
heard-
lord
From everything
or
I've
be
heard,
killed by the Fae? Well,
Amethyst,
you know?
Amethyst brings the cats and the puppies.
So
That's
I
always
hold
a
my
choice.
arms out and I summon a kitten, a puppy, and a bunny. Open Daenerys, and I'm like, whatever, baby, pick one. We'll have bunnies and kittens on the way, I promise.
See, we've got this room with no stress in it whatsoever.
I think
and we can have
Melican
puppies in it.
kind of holds her hand out and just says, "May I hold the kitten?"
Yes, you can have the kitten, and I give her the kitten.
She
But
takes
we-
it and just kind of holds it and pets it gently.
You have an advantage this time, right? Like last time, you wanted to make sure the summoning didn't happen, and you were all focused and fired up and researching, finding out how you could stop the summoning.
Yes.
That didn't work, but
I have had
you know
more
who-
time. Sorry, go
Well,
ahead.
I mean, yeah, you've had more time to think about it, and they can have more time because you know who it is. You know the demon thing involved, and the more you know,
Yes. And I
wonder if
believe
your library knows anything about it.
through manipulations of the magic, I believe that although I will not be able to, the rest of my companions back then, I will not be able to change their nature at the time. They will be as they were. But I and all of you will be able to return to that moment as we are now. And
You're absolutely certain of that.
if I could be more certain by asking a question or reading a book, I would be. I'm as certain as I can be, given that we are discussing a Fey artifact that, as far as I can tell, was invented to be an art object.
Why aren't you at the castle in Velenocta any longer?
Because I believed that I was not safe there from the Fey Queen.
So you've just been traveling since then?
Yes.
Well, I don't see an alternative to restoring the stolen moment, and I think I kind of resigned myself to that a while ago. I guess I didn't know I was the only one, but I'm, that seems to be like the right thing to do based on what we know now. And I'll fight a demon lord. I've already died once. What's he gonna do to me? Whatever.
So, I'm hesitant to share this, and I want you to understand that before I go further. To restore the stolen moment, I would assume we would have to be back in the place where it was taken. So that might be a small problem right now. I can't remember if I told everybody else about.
Well, Alaric knows what.
Alaric knows.
Yeah.
Oh, but
Yeah, I think you
Yeah.
told everybody.
Did I tell
Yeah,
it? Okay.
yeah.
Well, I haven't told Melicanth. And I hate giving any concession to her, just so you know. The problem is that something has happened in Farusha. I am concerned that if I go back, basically they're preparing for war.
She kind of nods, just like, not that she knew, but more like, yeah, great, yeah, that I expected as much as just gonna be, that sort of.
Yeah. So I know you said you had multiple conversations with the spirit of Lake Elamond. Have you had similar conversations with Rushama?
Not recently. Certainly I sought out Rashama's wisdom both before the use of the stolen moment and since. And I'm afraid that I have come to no longer trust Rushama. Do recall that the presence of these dark elves attempting to summon the Demon Lord occurred underneath Rushama. This does not mean he caused that to happen, but it is the nature of spirits. There is no doubt in my mind whatsoever that he would be influenced by such a thing.
I thought as much. But so yeah, there's that fun additional challenge to the whole we gotta go fix time. So
Well,
It's not like you didn't want to go back and see it for yourself anyway.
we have our work cut out for us, to be sure. There was something I needed to go back to as well, as we are sharing everything now, and I don't want there to be any secrets among us. Zoreth is
oh, that guy again.
back, and he was a part of my last plan to try to restore the stolen moment.
Of course he was. You tipped him off, huh?
It was, at first, from his perspective, an arrangement of convenience. My understanding, speaking with him, is that it's not so much that he cared about summoning the Demon Lord, as much as his mother was one of the sorcerers involved in the summoning itself, and when it was stopped, she was punished. And so he wanted to restore the moment to spare her that.
So let me get this straight. You tipped off Zorath to the stolen moment being transported. Zorath then attacked us and tried to kill us because, collateral damage, who cares, right?
That is not how it was supposed to happen. I did not merely tip him off. He did not realize that I had placed him under a gas spell. That once he had restored the moment, he would have found himself compelled to interfere with it in the summoning in any way that he could.
But he knows about that now.
I don't know that for certain, but I would not be surprised. I understand he is taken to calling me the betrayer now. So
Oh, I can't imagine why.
yes, bear in mind did not mean for any of you to be involved. But I also could not let it be made obvious that I was trying to restore the demon summoning, not after the last time that happened.
So what was his role in that ritual to begin with?
He was not a participant, but his mother was either a sorcerer or perhaps a warlock, and had been... They are Genasi. Do you know this race? They are not so common in this part of the world.
Would Nira know about that?
Yeah, I think Nero would probably be familiar that Genasi are sort of half-breeds with, like, certain kinds of elemental spirits in very special circumstances can occasionally breed with mortal creatures.
See, when a spirit and a person fall in love,
Yeah. And so that she says that is why his skin has the metallic coloring, his eyes the emerald. He is an earth genasi, like his mother.
Well, that explains the way he looked the last time we saw him. Before Amethyst died.
Mm-hmm.
And thanks for the assist there, by the way.
So much hate for this woman.
I am sorry that happened for a variety of reasons. Personal, of course. I hope that is not in question. But that is a piece of what I didn't quite get to earlier, which is to say we need all the fragments, including your friend Mugen and including Zorath.
Right, he has one too.
I believe so.
So, is there any chance that he's going to be going around trying to close these fissures also?
I don't know what he wants now. When I last spoke with him, he wanted to restore the moment, as did I. He for his own reasons and me for mine. Now I don't know what he will want.
Well, what's the saying? Sometimes the only way forward is through.
Yeah.
So this has been heavy conversation, to be sure. I understand you are all prepared to turn in to bed, as I found you. I think the rooms here will be more comfortable than that inn. You are welcome to rest here, and perhaps after some sleep we can begin to discuss our next steps.
oh yeah, we're all just gonna fall asleep easy on this note. I mean, I
So,
probably will. I slept
when
with
you-
her for 4 years.
When you said don't trust anyone with power, was there someone specific that you were talking about?
Because that turned out to be just like everybody we ran into if we thought about it.
You mean
Yeah.
like political power or like magical power?
The
The guard at the door was nice.
It is specifically the Fey Queen that I was most concerned with. And she may approach you through any number of different agents. So anyone representing power could be her agent. Further, there are also other entities that may be interested in an artifact as powerful as the Stolen Moment, for a
Like
variety of
Huntsman.
reasons.
So
That's the
does
huntsman.
like everybody know about this thing?
I
now?
believe the Lord of the Hunt, at least, wishes to return it to his consort. Queen Hieronymus. So, of the various possibilities, I would say he is not the worst one. However, it is also clear that if Queen Hieronymus regains the stolen moment before we are able to return the demon summoning from to the timeline, I don't believe that is her goal. I believe she just wants to have it. But at the very least, she does not intend to transform the world into a realm of her liking in the way that Queen Solomonia does.
I've got one other question. Otacre's going to cast Zone of Truth.
Ooh.
What you been waiting for?
I'm going to say that there's she lets you cast it, but I'm going to say as you start to cast it, you get this flickering look from her eyes, like she's absolutely seeing you cast a spell, and you see her sort of consciously not interrupt you. I want to check one thing, though.
How big is Zone of Truth? Are we all going to start babbling our own truths here?
No babbling.
I ate the last of the turkey. I didn't consider any of you when I did it.
We all saw you and knew it and talked about it, and we were okay with that. Enjoy the turkey.
Check the nature of the Zone of Truth spell. Okay, yeah, it's an enchantment spell.
You ate mushrooms
And
for
it's,
years. Have all the turkey you
Okay,
want.
and it's not specifically a charmed effect. So, okay,
No.
so she gets to make a charisma saving throw.
Christmas DC 16.
You feel her essentially voluntarily not fight it. She just says, "I want you all to trust me."
Are you one of the fairy queens or part of the court or under their influence?
No. It is. I should clarify. It is possible that I could be under their influence without realizing it. But I have taken many steps to prevent that, and there is no influence that I am aware of.
Is there anything that we can
Right.
do to obscure ourselves from being tracked?
There may be. I will have to do some studying. I did not realize that she would have your blood. That is a difficult divination to get around. I don't believe she should be able to track you while you are here, but we cannot stay here forever. I can recast this each day, but it is not permanent.
And she knows while we're here that she doesn't know where we are, right? Like that we're not.
Likely true.
Wait, does that mean you're coming with us?
I don't think it's a good idea to have us and the stolen moment in the same place at the same time.
Not yet.
Amethyst, I know you had your heart set on that, but I think it's a very, very bad idea.
It is certainly.
I trust Melicanth more than I did.
Yeah, not while they can track us.
So we've got this goddamn shell in our bag. Can you do something about that for us before we all go to bed and give the corpse to these fools?
Oh. It gives you kind of a little bit of a manic laugh. It's like, that was, I'm sorry.
Somebody shrank it for us, and we
Yes,
don't.
of course. Yeah, bring it.
Yeah.
And so if you open it for you, she just then pulls it out.
Okay, I would like to leave the room so that I do not get hit with this shit again.
Well,
Excuse me.
Yeah. So
now-
I'm done being giant. I'm good.
so she pulls it out, and actually, as she's holding it, she suddenly looks a little thoughtful and says, You are aware of its magical reflection capabilities, yes?
Can
Yeah,
we
we
use that?
experienced it.
Yeah.
Firsthand. Can we use that?
We may. We may be able to. I will
Use
have
it for
to
what?
study on it. I may be able to, if we can determine the nature of the tracking spell they have on you, we may be able to obstruct it.
Oh.
Sweet.
See, maybe it was
Madrigal.
worth it to have dragged that.
Oh,
thing
zip
all
it,
over.
Mira. I'm gonna conjure up my druid crafty flowers and shit, and I'm gonna wave them around inside the bag of holding because it smells like dead snail. I'm assuming things still rot in, other planes.
Isn't
and
there
shit.
still
There's-
bullet hide in there also?
Yep.
A what?
Bullet hide?
Probably
Oh,
my
Big,
own.
Jesus.
big, tough, heavy, like rhino-like leather.
Good God, you people! I'm a druid. Don't make me carry the dead animals.
There's no air inside the bag though, so like it's not like a vacuum, but it's also like bacteria wouldn't really survive in it. So
So
It's
it just
not
has
that
its
rotten.
own,
Slower to,
it has its own
much slower
beautiful
to run the snail.
aroma. Yeah.
it's a little bit like you've had it in a refrigerator. So it's not in pristine condition, but it's,
Well, then I'm
it's-
getting the smell of dead snail out of my refrigerator then.
she
Oh,
actually
that's-
sees you
that's-
doing
that's
that and
quite
just
a way
says,
off.
I could I could clean it for you if you like. Although you seem to be doing fine as that thing goes.
Sure.
And she kind of holds her hand out again and whispers a few words. And once again, a bit like when Alaric, cleaned the crud off of you from behind. She just you see the bag kind of shiver, and then she like a little poof of like noxious fume starts to come out of it, but then just like it vanishes into the air as it emerges, though.
Oh, I'm gonna snap my fingers to make it smell like something really good, like beer.
She turns like a surprised look over to you and just like,
That's better.
well,
That's like a signal for getting a RUI, riding under the influence. Like,
Why do you think I hate horses so much? They're judgmental.
Judgmental horses.
Have you seen them look at you? They're drunk.
so I'm sure you're all tired. Perhaps now we should be safe here for tonight. So
Yeah.
if you
I
would like to get some sleep,
think we need to worry about raising suspicion of the general or anything.
I'll sleep out there. I can hear anything that comes in and let you know. I'm not the one being tracked.
I had not anticipated that you would have any desire to return there.
What do you mean?
Well, I just don't know. I mean, if he's gonna lay siege on Villanocta, if we care, if he knows that we disappeared.
no, really, do we
I-
have any other business there? I don't care.
Breakfast?
No, we don't. I just think, I'm just wondering what's better in the long run. That's all.
I don't. My concern with staying there was that somebody was going to try to kill us in the night. So
Yeah.
I'm okay with not going
Sure.
back.
Yeah, I'm fine with not going back.
If it will assuage your concerns, I have no desire to see Villanocta attacked either. I will detect his thoughts while you sleep, and I will let you know
Okay.
if he plans any ulterior motive beyond those which he has already shared.
Cool.
Okay. Yeah. Then, yeah. Then if we know, we could assassinate him.
Nira, you cool?
It's fine. I'm fine. This is fine.
It's all fine.
Everything's fine.
Nonetheless, I think I'll spend my time in the room just in case somebody does come in.
I think Melicanth is going to try to talk you out of that. Just to say, I would really prefer we do not even open the door again until morning.
More
Yes,
times
I'm
you
in.
open the door, the more chances something else will
Tracking
get
leakage.
Well, yeah, and if they know where we were before we disappeared, they may send somebody, and I don't want you alone in that room if that's the case.
How would you explain being alone any
think it'll
better
be
than the empty
fine.
room?
Well, at least I could stall them for a moment and get the hell out and we'd know. Or
Mm.
I could convince them to go away. Or I could just make sure they go away in a less clean manner if I needed to.
All the same, I think I would rather keep us all together, Alaric.
If you insist.
Yeah, it's for the best.
Don't
Right.
split the party.
It always goes so well, though.
So I'm going to go ahead and have nudge you guys along to the bedrooms.
Oh no, a
And,
bedroom scene.
Oh well.
What kind of a place is this?
Or
Oh, you
going ahead
know.
and giving you guys a long rest. What I will say though is that as you she leads you to these bedrooms, she basically asks if you want one big one for all of you or separate ones. She can make
I
do
think
either way.
it would be nice to have a little privacy, I think.
Yeah, my story keeps them up.
Um,
Not with
So
me.
she actually, at your answer, she just kind of waves at the hallway, which just sort of extends further and has, 4 more identical doors.
How does Andrea look? Like, does she seem nervous? Like she needs
She
company?
seems really quiet, like she's absorbing information and she's not sure how she feels about it.
Well, that's fair.
Because if she looked particularly shaken, I was gonna invite her along.
She looks pensive and concerned, but not necessarily like in crisis.
All right. Andrea, are you okay with this? Well, I mean, not okay, obviously, but
It's
the arrangements for tonight, or is this all right with you?
Oh, yeah, that's fine. That's fine. I think I might need a little longer to answer the question for the other thing.
That's fair.
I understand that, believe me.
Good luck. I don't think I'm going to find an answer that's going to satisfy entirely. So I'm just going to give up and go to bed.
Yeah.
All right. So you all turn in then, and the room is, I mean, it's super fancy. It's nicer even than the royal guest suites that you stayed in the Villanocta Palace. But I would imagine that you all have had a long day, and I'm going to allow you to go ahead and do your long rest now. And then and so nothing's going to happen overnight unless you decide to have something happen. Mother Dragon says,
Excellent.
"So, spending the night in Melicanth's moving castle."
I will, out of curiosity, probably try to get the layout of the place, just sort of wander around for a little while.
Yeah.
Wear myself out as well.
Sure. Yeah, I mean it's not huge as like it's not like a sprawling palatial mansion. Like it's very ornate where it exists, but you also discover that rooms that would probably exist in a real regular mansion don't seem to. Like you don't see anything like in the like servants' quarters or even really a kitchen or anything like that. You probably could reasonably conclude that the only rooms that exist are the ones that Melicanth specifically decided she wanted.
All right, that's weird.
And it's a TARDIS.
All right, after doing that for a while, I'm going to bed
As
down.
you're walking around, you do discover that there are a couple of little sort of phantasmal little like servant things moving around. Like they don't seem like they have any sort of a personality. They're not like ghosts. They're just sort of like little conjured, magical, go get that thing for me things.
I'll ask them if they can get me some beer.
They they one of them walks away, and then from the other direction, one hands you a beer.
I think I'm gonna sleep right here.
So I'll go ahead and have you guys do your long rest. So make sure you pick your spells and everything for whatever you think you might encounter in the morning.
Got it.
I will say actually that all of this has taken longer than I was sort of expecting. So I've got some big stuff that hasn't happened yet. So you can
Well, you should
take
know
that
when it comes to
metatextual
like having
knowledge.
conversations, we never
Oh,
move those
sure.
along.
No, it's great. I mean, I
Oh, this
I
is
loved all
awesome.
of that. Yeah. So it's I'm just saying. Go ahead and pick your spells. You can do so with the meta knowledge that I've got more stuff planned for you.
I know. I'm trying to figure out what it is I think I might need. I don't.
Do we have any idea what we're doing next? I mean, it's like forest
Not really.
spells,
No.
castle spells, water spell. Well, I guess we don't
I
need
mean,
water spells anymore.
if we're gonna try to charge it up more, the biggest blob is in the middle of that forest.
Yeah.
So
Oh.
I think I'm trying. So should I? I'm just asking. Should I prepare Raise Dead? Because I'm gonna switch out Hallow
Yeah, I
for
was
something
looking
else.
I was looking at Revivify, swapping it to that.
Viv would appreciate Revivify.
Revivify.
I also have gas that I can do.
I
have
grabbed-
a spell to help your gas.
I grabbed Lesser Restoration, which can end one disease or condition afflicting it, conditions being blinded, deafened, paralyzed, or poisoned. I think that and Mass Cure Wounds are, I think that's what I'm going to grab for, like, survival.
So I also have Dispel Good and Evil as a 5th level, which will protect against
Spell
Fae.
good.
For the duration, Celestials, Elementals, Fae, Fiends, and Undead have disadvantage on attack rolls.
Mm.
If you have a way you can contact Melicanth if she's not coming with us.
Well, I do. I mean, I can
Yeah.
cast frickin' whatever it is, but
Message.
like
Yeah.
yeah, I'm not looking at those level spells right now. Yeah, it's a speaking like I can send her a swan or some crap. I don't remember.
Oh, speak through animals?
There's Animal Messenger. I don't have
Yeah.
it myself. Do you have it?
Yeah, no, it was something else. I remember.
There's message as well.
I think Animal Messenger is a druid spell.
Yeah.
I think you
I'm
could
thinking
have, you
because
could
she
take it if
used
you wanted it.
that.
Totally.
What the hell was it that I sending? That's what it was.
Or sending, yeah, sorry, messages.
Yeah,
from-
I don't have that, but I would have to swap out Prayer of Healing, Spiritual Weapon, or Lesser Restoration.
Ouch.
So
I can trade out. I can trade out Animal Messenger. Let's see. Let me read it and make sure I know if it's going to be useful.
because I mean we might not need to contact her immediately for anything, and so I don't
Yeah.
want to like waste the slot.
Yeah.
So
on
it's
something
time.
like
Yeah.
this. She's right here now, and I
We're
don't-
just planning to leave Gorn, right?
right.
Yeah. I think that. Well, I don't know. I don't want to just like disappear and then we have to wait for some message and try to meet up somewhere. I feel like we should prearrange something almost. I don't.
Can you, can either one of you do things to see things at a distance?
Well, I have
Yeah.
clairvoyance, but only if I've been there before. I think that was what I used before at the tavern, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
clairvoyance is what you used.
I don't think I have a scrying thing.
I have.
And
No.
now we're spending time talking about spells.
Because this is
Fascinating.
what we do. Okay, so did we decide that I was going to prepare
The resurrection.
Raised Dead?
So I have Revivify. I had what was I gonna take off? It was like remove curse. might be more helpful to revive.
Bear in mind too that both Revivify and Raise Dead, I think, have material components.
BSNM.
Doesn't
A
both-
diamond worth at least 500 gold points.
And,
Doesn't
But-
Revivify
that.
needs 300. A
So-
diamond worth 300.
So the focus doesn't.
No, so
Replace
the
that?
focus takes the place of any material components that don't list a price.
Gotcha. Cool.
Or aren't consumed. The other
Yeah.
one.
Yeah, the thing
So-
is with these although you also get the feeling that Melicanth might be able to help you out with that something stuff.
So I have scrying also that I could take. You can see or hear a particular creature you choose that is on the same plane of existence as you. The target must make a wisdom saving throw. Blah blah blah. By how well you know it or have a connection to it.
Well, I'll dump remove curse and take revivify, and then
We'll just save up our diamonds.
bring you up.
Okay, so I don't know what else to take instead of Hallow because that takes too long and we're never in one place for 24 hours, so I just don't see.
Yeah.
So I think as you guys are kind of getting your stuff together and making these plans, I think Melicanth will kind of come and she's looking a little anxious and just saying, before too long I do have to complete the spell for the mansion and I can recast it somewhere else, but we will have to temporarily vacate. But before we open things up, is there anything any of you need?
Well, if we are to have more encounters like the one that nearly took Amethyst from us, there are materials that we'll need for various spells to get her back or anyone back that is afflicted.
Yes, of course.
You know, reasons that.
I do not have those sorts of spells myself. I have not personally dabbled in necromancy, but I understand that druidic and divine magics may be a bit different. But do you need material components?
Yeah, like an obscenely large diamond,
Yes.
or semi-obscene smaller diamonds.
Yes, well, yes, got very common spell components. I do traffic in powerful spells, so yes, I believe I could offer a few to you. And I think she'll actually give each of you 2 500 gold piece diamonds.
Nice.
Dang,
Probably,
thanks,
I think to Amethyst, Archie, and Nira, she'll kind of look at Andri and Alaric and just say, "It's not favoritism. I don't think you would have need of it."
My magic doesn't really work that way. At least I don't think it does. I'm looking it up and I can't really remember where.
Thanks, Melly Mel.
So
So
yes,
would you guys rather I take Greater Restoration?
As opposed to what?
The Raised Dead.
What's the difference between them?
Well, Raised Dead brings you back with 1 hit point. If
Greater
you are dead.
restoration does not bring you back if you're dead,
No.
but it can do other things.
Yeah, you can reduce the target's exhaustion level by 1 or end one of the following effects. One effect that charmed or petrified the target, 1 curse, including the target's attunement to an cursed magic item, would have been helpful for Archie. You know.
Yeah.
Oh, with that sword.
Yeah.
This one time.
Any reduction to one of the target's ability scores, 1 effect reducing the target's hit point maximum. So,
Yeah, I think it might be good to have 2 resurrections available, because if one of us
Okay.
goes down, then we can
yeah.
bridge over.
I mean, Raise Dead takes a while. It takes like an hour.
Revivify is one action touch.
Whereas death takes considerably longer. So, you know. So, okay. Yeah, 1 level or 1 hour seems a small price to pay for
And
not
although
having to lug around a corpse.
I don't know that particular spell, but they can be dead for up to 10 days too. So
Yeah, but also don't want to lug around a corpse. So,
got a bag for that.
Don't gotta worry about breathing.
okay. So I have taken Raised Dead. Okay, I think that's all I'm gonna do. I think I'm just gonna keep clairvoyance for now. Just
Hey, I have scrying open. I don't know if it's useful compared to clairvoyance. Let me read it.
Scrying is more powerful than clairvoyance, but it's also a higher level spell.
right,
Mhm.
and it's for like specific people, isn't it, or objects?
Particular creature you choose that is on the same plane of existence as you.
Yeah, I was just reading that one. So
Yeah, it's more designed for seeking out something you know you're looking for, as opposed to just saying, "Hey, what's over in that room?"
Well,
So, like, hey, what's Zorath up to?
yep.
That seems useful.
Or hey, what's the center of the purple circle?
I think Melicanth would just say, it was through scrying that I was observing all of you. Although you will not be able to scry from within the mansion, because technically speaking, we are not precisely on the
Right.
material plane.
So I can swap out clairvoyance for sending if you think that would be more helpful.
Melicanth says, if you feel like you would need to initiate communication, it would be a good spell. I'm a bit wary of any unnecessary communication. I can certainly reach out to you and allow you to speak back to me, but if you feel if you would need to reach me in a hurry.
Or anyone else?
Uh-oh. I mean, I have Animal Messenger, but that's not really going to get to you if you're in here. But it'll...
I think
be
Melicanth is just saying,
fine.
I hate to hurry you, but we have about 3 minutes before this mansion will spit us back
Okay.
out into that hotel room.
Okay.
Right.
I'll go out
So-
just to check.
Okay. You know what? I'm just gonna keep clairvoyance. I'm not gonna equip sending. So
I'm good.
Okay.
So she leads you all back to that front room, and actually kind of just cracks the door open, just looking through it. As soon as it cracks open, though, she's knocked back as something just shoves it open.
oh great.
And you all look through there, and standing in the hotel room is Zorath, and he's just saying, "I can't believe you made me wait all night."
See, aren't you glad you stayed back, Lorik?
Wouldn't have had to wait all night, I guess. But
Well, it's a shame for you because I got a little impatient while I was waiting. At this point, the mansion collapses and shunts you all out into the hotel room with him. And Archie, as soon as you emerge from the, from this magical mansion and pop yourself back into the inn, your divine sense, which usually you have to, concentrate on, but it's like a slap in the face. There is an incredibly powerful evil thing nearby. It is not Zorath.
Stranger danger.
He just says,
Crap.
guess what? There are some friends I made while I was out, including a particular demon named Thalsk, who would rather that Mothalas doesn't return, and so I may have told him that you have him sealed in a little ball. So he's on his way now, so good luck with that. And then he reaches out with his hand and tears a fissure in the air with his hand,
Oh, asshole.
and then dives through it.
wait, can you do that?
No, can we go after him?
Can we try? Have we
So
tried?
you do see the open fissure, but then you also hear from outside an incredible, like a roar that is sends you just a shiver down all of your souls. It's this horrific, monstrous roar carrying outside, and you hear like shouting outside too, and you hear in your heads a voice saying, "Where is it? I'll burn this town to the ground."
Crap. Okay. Guys, I have banishment up and ready to go. Okay, our
Are we assuming
Demons,
action
I
focus
have
for
just
the last
changed
scene?
the ambiance for the
What the
for the
hell?
sound, so I think everyone's maybe listening.
so demons and devils are not of this plane of existence, correct?
Correct.
What's the new tabletop audio track?
So this is actually, I'm not using tabletop audio for this. This
Oh.
is Sirenscape, which unfortunately I'm not able to share with you. But basically, what you would be hearing right now, if you were listening to the stream, is monstrous demon-sounding roars and fire and stuff.
Nice.
All right, I'm gonna open the door and I'm gonna go for it.
Okay, so you are still up in the this room. So you can either look out the window, or you can go out into the hallway and then down to the common room and so on.
Actually, Melicanth, do you have a way to just leave? Like, can you go somewhere else?
She says,
Anywhere but here.
"Yes, I can teleport all of us to a safe location. It is what, in fact, I had already planned to do.
It's
Shudder
not
to think
smart for us all to be in the same place. You need to go. Get that thing out of here.
So the wagon too, the
Yeah.
horse or something.
Why don't we get out of here and then she can leave us?
I can bring us all. I can bring us all to teleport us all to a safe
But
location."
all of these people are gonna die.
She goes to the window and looks out, and she just pales. It's just, "If you mean to stay and fight, then I will stay to help you. It may be. If you.
Can I see it out the window? Like, is it outside?
Yeah, if you
outside?
so if you go and you look out the window, which leads out, looks out onto the main sort of strip outside the road, you see all, if you all kind of go to look, some like 120 feet away is a creature. It is like 18 feet tall, standing, huge wings, red skin, horns, and is carrying a long sword that's probably 10 feet long in one hand, glowing with electricity, and it has a flaming whip in the other hand. And as you look out the window, it slashes out with its sword and basically takes the roof off of a little house. Also, look down at its feet, you see some of the military units have already tried to start to assemble to surround it, but just as at a glance, you would be really surprised if they're capable of much against this thing.
How far away is it right now?
About 120 feet.
Okay, I have to half the distance before I can cast banishment.
It's a big one.
Melicanth says, yes, very big. It is it's a demon known as Baelor. It's very dangerous. It may be incumbent upon us to make sure that we are safe, and if we must sacrifice the town, that may be the choice we have to make. So, I'm not saying that we leave now, but if it looks like it is beyond our capabilities, we must flee. All of you.
Why don't we do both? This thing is after that thing, right?
Yes.
So we will follow it. We could lead it outside the town, at least to get it away from these people. I don't think we can fight the thing necessarily, but at least we could try that.
Leading it away, I agree with.
Yeah.
If there's going to be a bunch of destruction, if we can get it away from here, that's fine. I don't want it to get it to have to follow it, though.
I applaud the thought. We can try, but bear in mind they are not dumb creatures. Despite their monstrous appearance, they are quite intelligent.
I've never had much trouble pissing off intelligent creatures, so that shouldn't be difficult.
You hear shouting and screaming outside, and in fact, actually, sort of just below the window, you hear the Brigadier General's voice saying, "Archers, over there! No, you get headed off!"
All right.
I'm going out the door.
All right.
I'm going out the window.
Okay. Well, I'll say all of you hurry to get out to the front of the inn where you can look at this thing, and guess what that means?
Roll
The map.
Roll for initiative.
So what you also see is that all of the wooden buildings around this thing are catching fire.
That's not good.
So let me just describe what you're seeing here on the map. Obviously, we've got, Andri, Alaric, Amethyst, Melicanth, Nira, Archie, and this is the Brigadier General who's sort of standing on the porch here. We've got units of archers, units of spearmen, and various sort of officers kind of spread around. And then obviously, you know what this is.
Taylor.
All right. So, how about we have everybody roll initiative?
Yeah, let's see.
6.
I was gonna do a cast. Oh wait, did I not have that prepared?
Trying to remember what the heck I can do now.
I rolled 9.
Yeah, I was gonna cast Aura of Vitality before.
Like
If I
on
could
your
have
way
before
out?
initiative.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll say you can cast that like while you're headed out.
sweet.
Remind me what that does?
So basically, as a bonus action, while it's active for the next minute, I can target one creature and they regain 2d6 hit points.
Oh,
As long
okay.
as they're within 30 feet of me.
Nice. Okay. So yeah, you cast that as you're sort of running down the stairs. So we'll say you have that up.
Initiative.
You guys also, as you run out, Melicanth was still in the room, but when you reach the front door, you see that she is already standing there, and she has apparently cast several spells on her. Her skin suddenly looks like stone-like. She's got sort of weird bluish flames sort of wreathed over her skin, and a little bit of a shimmering magic around her as well. And she just looks back at you and she says,
Nice job, buddy.
This is going to be difficult.
Remember, we're not trying to take it on. We're just trying to get the hell out of here.
She nods. She turns to Nira actually and just says, "Banishment, yes. It will be difficult, but we should both try. I think it's our best chance if it will work."
I agree.
Okay, so I didn't get. I needed a
My initiative was 2.
Oh, okay. 2. Okay, Alara, what was yours? 14?
Yes.
Alright. Okay. The Baylor has 21, so it goes first.
Slightly higher.
All right, so as you see this thing steps forward, and it hasn't like really noticed you guys yet, but it reaches out with its flaming whip and is aiming at this little officer here, and gets a that's an 18 to hit, which does hit. And then as it, let's see, So it does 16 slashing damage and 14 fire damage as this flaming whip circles around this guy in his armor and yanks him up to the Baelor's feet. And then it sticks him with the longsword and basically just kills him. Just pins him to the ground with this electrical longsword. And also, you see that as it was taking its action, the flames of these buildings surrounding it kind of flare up. All right, so that's its turn. Alaric, you're up.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. All right. I'm gonna walk forward 25.
Okay.
Off.
So, an important thing that I didn't mention is that our scale on this map is actually different. Each square is 10 feet on this map.
Oh hell.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That changed a lot of things.
30, 40, 60.
10, 27, 40, 50. I think that means if I move forward 2 squares, yes,
Yep.
it'll be the range for the crossbow. I will yell over my shoulder to the brigadier, "Get your men out of here! They're just going to get killed."
And he just says, "The ranged fighters will stay." And then he shouts at these spearmen, "Get back! Help to evacuate! Archers, move in!"
And I'll fire my one little pitiful crossbow bolt.
All right. Go ahead and roll.
Oh, that's terrible. That's a 12.
Well, unfortunately, you see the crossbow bolt just like burst into flame in midair as it passes over this thing's shoulder.
That could be a problem. I will use my bonus action to move 2 more squares closer.
Okay.
So I'm dashing.
Actually, with the
It's-
double, you get another square because it's 50
Oh, yeah.
feet, right? Doubling 25.
Yep.
All right. Okay. So next is actually the officers. I may call them veterans just because that's the sort of the unit name, and they all have heavy crossbows too. So I pre-rolled some of these things just to manage. So they all fire their crossbow bolts except for this guy because he's dead. I'm
These are harder.
Yeah. So, but only one of them hits, and it would do 3 damage. But you get the sense that it was like this crossbow bolt was half burned by the time it hit this thing, and it didn't even do that much damage. It was not nothing, but it was not full either. Okay, so then it was the guards here, and because they heard the brigadier general, they actually do start to back up and retreat away, rather than trying to engage with this thing. All right, and then so the brigadier general is just gonna. Point is like, "You there, take a shot!" And one of the veterans gets another attack advantage. And that hits and does another 2 damage.
How much damage did you take so far? I know
It's taken 3 total, which is this thing is not even really feeling it so far.
Yeah.
But then the brigadier general actually raises his own. He has his own short bow, and now that you're seeing him kind of in action, he does actually have kind of a significant battle charisma to him, and he raises this short bow like he is very experienced with it, and he makes his own roll and hits. It's still only he's going to do just another 2 damage to it, but he's doing his part. Okay, and then it is Melicanth's turn. And banishment is 60 feet, I think you said already, Nira?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3. So she can't get close enough to do it that on the first turn. Trying to see what she's got that could be helpful before she gets that close. Oh, you know what she's actually gonna do? She whispers something to herself, and then you see her lift off the ground. And she is, what's her speed? Yeah. And she actually moves another. She lifts off the ground, and so she's like hovering over this building now, getting a little closer.
She's Mary Poppins, y'all.
Okay, so that's her turn. Amethyst, you're up.
If I have to waste a diamond on bringing her back from the dead, I'm gonna be pissed.
Just gave it to you.
Oh, I love you too, Nira.
Not you, Melicanth.
Damn, that was kind of hard.
I would spend diamonds on and not think twice.
Baby cakes.
You hate Melicanth so much you wouldn't even spend her own diamonds to bring her back.
That's kind of a real burn right there. Like hardcore. Oh, thanks for the diamond. Nope. So we are those are 10 blocks. So 30, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I'm gonna run forward. I think, or not run. I'm gonna move forward. However many I can move forward.
You can move 3 squares.
Okay, so 3 squares, and I think that puts me in range of confusion on the big beastie.
What's the range?
90 feet.
Yep.
Yay!
Is that a wisdom
each
saving
creature. That's what I'm trying to see. Wisdom saving throw.
throw? That's a 19.
Aww. Boogers. Okay, yeah.
As you see it sort of shake its head and just say, you hear again in your head, "Your paltry magics will not work on me. Give me the orb."
No. No.
All right.
No,
So,
thank you.
That's your turn.
That was highly effective.
Yeah. So then the Brigadier General said, "Archers, draw! Fire!" And there's actually 2 units of archers here with longbows, and they are, there's 10 of them in each unit here. So they're actually each firing 2 arrows. And so between all of them, they get actually 5 hits and 3 crits, which would be 56 damage, but is halved to 28 because this thing is resistant to piercing damage. I'll just go ahead and say that. But still, they pepper it with arrows, several of them hitting, and you can see it sort of, a lot of them sort of stick in its wings, and it sort of. All right, that's the archers. Nira.
All right, so I'm not close enough for banishment. I can't get close enough for banishment right now, so I'm gonna run a little damage control, maybe. And I am going to cast Ice Storm.
Okay. What's
It's the range of 300 feet.
yeah?
And it's in a 20-foot cylinder centered
Okay.
around a point, which would be that thing.
On this guy right here, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What does he save?
Dexterity 15.
Dexterity he is not good at.
That's what I figured.
Nice.
I
Big
mean,
doesn't
he's
move
like
fast,
he's still got a
like-
dexterity score of 15, but he doesn't have like special bonuses to it.
It's not that he's not good.
And he
he's
rolls a
just
7.
Yes!
Yes.
All right, 40-foot high cylinder centered on the point. Each creature in the cylinder must make a dexterity saving throw. Creature takes 2d8 bludgeoning damage and 4d6 cold damage on a failed save, or half as much on a... Wait. Yeah, that's right. Okay. Me. So that is 8 for the bludgeoning damage.
All right, he takes half that.
And then 15 cold damage.
Okay. And he actually also takes half of that.
Right, and that is now difficult terrain.
Okay. In fact, let me go ahead and draw
Go.
that down.
Nice.
Of course, he does have big wings.
Eh.
Right. But still hit him. Counts.
Yep. Sure does. Okay, and in fact, actually, what I'll say is that the splash of the ice steaming off of it actually puts out some of the fires that were right
Was hoping for that. And then I would like to move ahead.
there. Okay.
Gonna
ahead.
go in the direction of up. No, I don't want to go in direction of Melicanth, the others.
Like here?
Yeah.
I'll say you can get there.
Okay.
All right. Archie.
Yeah. So it's obvious that he's taking less damage from things.
Mm-hmm.
I've got the +1 longbow. Does that impart magical properties to the missile that launches?
Does. Yes.
That's what I thought. So let's see. I'm gonna move up. I'd like to move up straight ahead next to the other archers.
Okay.
I think that's all my movement.
Mm-hmm.
And bonus action on my way is swearing my swearing channel divinity.
The vow of
Abjuring this
enmity?
enemy.
Oh, abjuring. Okay. Remind me
Right.
what that one
So,
does.
that's the one that gives me advantage for.
Okay. Yep.
Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. I just gave you the wrong one. It's not abjure. It's the vow of enmity. Right.
That's the one I was
Well,
assuming.
advantage.
So, okay. All right.
Advantage per minute.
Yeah. All right.
So that was my bonus action, and then I take 2 attacks on him with the longbow.
All right. Go for it.
Wow. Both of them were 19 with the just for one roll, so
Okay.
it's 119. But and the second one's a crit.
Okay. So a 19 and a crit are the two
Right.
attacks.
Right.
Okay.
Well, actually, 19 plus stuff.
Okay, yeah, so a 19 does hit. But it's plus stuff, so it sounds like both of those hit regardless. One's a
Yeah.
crit. So go ahead and roll the damage.
So 10 points of piercing.
Okay. Is that
And that's all for the first one.
okay? Yeah.
And then the crit. Is only 8 points of piercing. Well, not let's say only, but magical piercing.
Okay. Well, both of those arrows strike it, and it kind of jerks back like those hurt it more than it was expecting. And then but you see that it turns its fiery gaze right at you, and then just says,
Yes.
"You would seek to protect him." You hear it in your head. All right. It is its turn again now. And you see as it starts moving, these fires flare back up again, and you actually see most of this ice melt away. And it sees you, Archie, and it basically takes a couple of steps forward. The whip is 30 feet, so it actually is kind of moving in close here.
Okay.
And then it goes to try to attack you with its flaming whip.
With it.
And it gets 28 to hit.
That hits.
All right. So that's going to be. Okay, that's 17 slashing damage plus 15 fire damage, but you are resistant to fire damage, right?
Right.
So I think I said 17 slashing damage, and then
7.
yeah. But also now I need a strength saving throw.
Nine plus 17.
17 is a failure. This
Woo.
fiery whip wraps around you, yanks you off your feet, and then you land. Actually, it doesn't yank you off your feet. You manage to hold your feet with a 17, but it literally just yanks and drags you on your feet. As it drags you closer to it, and now it's going to attack you with its, electricity, lightning longsword. And that is actually only a 16. So it strikes down this enormous, electrified longsword, but you're able to bat it away with your shield.
Right. Oh, and the shield. Oh, the shield. It absorbs the elements, but only when I take the hit.
Yeah, it was glancing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Right.
You could have done that with the fiery whip, I suppose. In hindsight.
Oh, reflect fire.
If you want, or
But
just
I'm
wait
sure
till next
he's
time.
resistant to it too. Yeah, I'll wait.
Okay. All right. One brief thing I'll just ask is, it is relatively late, so if you guys wanted, we could cliffhanger it here, or we can keep playing. I'll leave it to you guys.
It's getting close to midnight, and this is probably not going to be a quick fight.
Well, it depends on whether the banish works.
Just wait till next round.
I mean, that's true. We could wait around. If the banish works, then we're good. If not, then it's fleeing time.
Yeah, we're a few hours behind. I don't feel like I have a vote.
Yeah, agreed.
I'm good to keep going at least for another round and see what happens.
Starla?
No pressure, Starla.
You're muted.
I mean, I'm good.
All right. Well, so let's do another round at least, and see how it's going. Because it's possible you guys might succeed in banishing it, the two of you, both trying it. We'll see. It's not an easy thing to banish. Oddly enough, this incredibly powerful demon's not easy to banish.
Crazy.
Yeah. So that makes it actually your turn again, Alaric. And this thing's like right up on you now.
So it's within melee.
Yeah, so it is not currently like in your, it's not staring you down because it's looking at Archie, but you're right next to it now.
No, it's good enough for me. Does Archie count as an ally, or are the
Archie is an ally. I would say.
Archie's an
Like to
ally?
think so.
He's not encumbered and not still considered to be active in the area.
Mm-hmm.
Then I hoist my mighty dagger, and let's see if this works.
Okay.
I'm going to try to attack it with the dagger.
All right.
Natural 20.
Wow.
Wow.
So that will hit.
I have my ally involved. So that
A
works.
dagger on a demon lord? Jesus,
Sure.
nice one.
Why not?
Why not, indeed?
Why not indeed?
Because then you
And,
crit.
it's not great damage. 14 damage. That's from the magic dagger, if that matters.
Okay. Yeah, it does matter. And
Okay.
Okay. That was with the crit and the sneak attack?
Yes. Oh, no, wait. That's double that damage because I didn't roll the dice twice, or I can roll them all again.
Oh. See, a crit with sneak attack, you gotta definitely,
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
don't
we
leave
tried-
that out.
Get them.
I am definitely on your guys' side this time. This is a tough fight, I'm gonna tell
That's
you.
another 12 points of damage then.
Okay. Yeah, as you stab into this thing at such close range, its blood spurts out on you, and you take 7 fire damage just from being spattered by its blood.
This is going to hurt very quickly.
Yeah. But at the same time, you're stabbing it kind of in the calf, I would guess. This thing's
Yeah.
18 feet tall. So, but it definitely reacts in pain, yanking its leg away.
Well, I shall proceed to stab at thee again. This time I don't have my sneak attack, but not a natural 20. In fact, I rolled a total of 10.
10 does not hit.
Okay.
It pulls its leg away, and you're slash it at helplessly.
Sure. Yeah. No, that's not good. I'm going to, let's see. I'm going to, God, I can't get 30 feet away from the thing. You know what? I'm going to charge forward and move to the other side of it.
Okay, like shifting around it, like
Well,
that.
is it big enough to just run through?
Yeah.
Sure.
Bear in mind that the thing is big here, but it's just because its wings are taking up so
Sure.
much space. So you're kind of running under its
And
wings.
that's a movement and a dash, so
Okay.
5 squares.
All right.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm going to be.
Okay.
Am I outside of its melee range, or am I just still in this melee
No,
range?
you're still in its melee range.
Oh, I thought I could get farther. Okay.
Yeah. It actually has a melee range of 10 feet with that giant sword of it.
Of course it does.
Not to mention its whip, which even further than that. But melee range is 10 feet.
The whip is busy right now. I'm kind of counting on that.
No, it released once it pulled Archie forward.
All
It's
right.
not still engaged.
All right.
But melee range is still just 10 feet.
All right.
All right, so that's your turn, Alaric. The officers here are each also they're still just going at it with their heavy crossbows. Only one of them hits, but it's a crit for another 4 damage. All right. You hear these guards have essentially retreated from the primary field here, but you can hear them shouting, like spreading out across the city and saying, "Get out! Everybody, get out! Run!" So they're trying to help clear civilians. All right, and then we've got our general here too, and he's going to fire his short bow again. Unfortunately, he misses that time, but he's also going to actually point to you, Archie, and just say, "There, on its knee!" And you have an extra attack, Archie, with advantage.
Oh, nice. Right now?
Yep. This is with your sword. And don't forget, your sword has special demon stuff. Fiend stuff.
Does it?
Oh, sweet.
You guys haven't actually fought many fiends like in forever, but remember when
Right.
you broke the curse of it.
Plus 1 to attack. Oh, all attacks against fiends are taken with advantage. Nice.
You would have advantage anyway, but now I guess it's not double
have
advantage, but
Double secret advantage. Okay, so 24.
24 hits.
Does 7 points of damage.
Now this thing's still pretty hardy, but you guys can see that you've been doing some damage to it. It's it is not invulnerable. All right, that was the general's turn. It is Melicanth's turn again, and she's right there, and she's going to try to banish it. Do you have banishment up, Nira? What saving throw is it?
Switch back to the screen. Banishment. Well, I did have it up. Where did it go? Pair of spells. Banishment. Yeah, 15. Well,
okay.
that's for me. What?
I was asking which
What?
saving throw.
Oh,
Save.
charisma.
Okay.
Yeah.
Charisma save. All right, so it's making. I'll go ahead and let you in on this. It has a plus 12 to charisma saving throws and
I
rolls
can
with
sing
advantage.
really well. I can sing awesome.
Son of a bitch.
Yeah. So that's a 29 resisting her banishment spell. Yeah. And she is actually going to try to back off of it a little bit now that it's so close. And so it's going to take a swing at her with its longsword, though.
That's not good.
27. And that is a hit. So,
Wish she's get up close.
wow, that's really good on the damage dice. 23, so 31 slashing damage, and
Oh my god. I told her to leave. She did not listen to me. I want that on the record.
She goes to flying just in time to have it crushed.
and then 18
It's very big of you.
lightning damage. But that's obviously a strong hit, which is kind of why she's trying to not be in melee range. But she's doing okay. She's floating in the air. She actually goes up high and kind of backs off.
Did
like
Andre get a turn?
Oh, you're right. I didn't have a turn for her. You're right.
Just noticed her token. I was like, gosh, I don't think she went.
Short legs. She's still running.
Let's roll her short bow attacks here. That's a hit and a miss. That's another 3 damage. All right. I've added her now at the end of the initiative roll. Okay, so that was Melicanth's turn. Amethyst, you're up.
So banishment didn't work.
Yeah, Melicanth's attempt didn't work. It actually, I think you all hear it laugh sort of in your head. Just, it will take more than that to banish me, elf. Now give me the orb.
I'm gonna cast Conjure Animals, and I'm gonna, because I'm within 60 feet.
Yes.
So I'm gonna put a giant constrictor snake on its head, around its neck.
Okay.
Conjure it right on him.
You sure you don't want to be giant elves? I made tokens for your giant elves, that's all.
Oh!
But no. If
But
you
they
want a
have
giant
it
constrictor
piercing.
snake, that's fine.
I'm trying to find something that'll damage him, because piercing damage, claw attacks, stuff like that hasn't been.
Yeah.
Won't it just burst into flames
be
though? Like a
magical.
snake on him?
It's a fake. It's a face snake. It's not an actual
Well,
snake.
it's not immune to fire damage, though.
Summon a fire snake.
Is
that
it?
exists.
Is it on fire?
Well, the thing is on
I mean,
fire.
it's-
You can see
Yeah.
actually
It's
now
resistant.
that
It's
it's
not immune.
Oh, I thought it was just the whip that was on fire.
no, you can see that like this thing's just heat just radiates off of it, and it's making things catch fire around it.
Oh, I don't. It seems stupid to put a snake on it to just sizzle. Then
Well, I mean, you tell me.
let me check its hit points.
It's got 16
Oh, yeah.
points.
Yeah, let's throw that scarf on his neck. Yeah.
Okay.
What happens?
So,
Snake scar. It'll last a minute or two, I think.
Ta-da! Giant constrictor snake.
Yay!
So you can poof it like right at his feet, but you need to roll initiative for it now. It's okay.
Okay. 18.
Okay.
Wow.
I know, right?
It's a snake. It's a snake.
Ah.
That's a not. So it'll go after the next turn, the Baylor's next turn.
Okay.
Okay, so that's your action. Are you taking any sort of a bonus action or a movement?
I wasn't going. No, I'm not. No.
Okay. So you stay where you are then, and it is now the archer's turn. They're all doing the same thing, and they actually, between them all, they get 7 hits and 1 crit, and that's actually going to do another 24 damage to it.
Ooh.
Ice volley.
Yeah. And it's kind of snarls as it's battering these arrows away, but some of them are finding their marks. They catch fire immediately once they're in contact with it, but they're hitting it. Okay, that's their turn. Nira, you're up.
Because I just don't have a lot of faith that banishment is going to work, and I'd rather fight it anyway.
Oh my gosh.
Because Nira is not going to look like a coward. She is not. So I'm going to cast Guardian of Faith.
Okay.
So we're gonna pop that guy right kind of in front of. I don't know. This is a veteran, I guess. That's
That's the one
standing.
that looks like Rashama again?
No, this is. It's just a sword and shield emblazoned with the symbol of my deity. And then he has to make a dexterity saving throw.
Alright. So he makes another dexterity saving throw.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna put that between like the archers and the guy.
Okay.
So that's getting crowded up in there, and I understand that. Sorry. And then, yeah, and then I'm gonna move back, kind of behind this building, so I'm not like in line of sight. Yeah.
Okay. So he makes a dexterity saving throw, and that's a 5.
Nope. He needed a 15.
Okay.
Boom.
So what happens
20.
to him?
20
Oh,
points
20.
of radiant damage.
20 points of radiant damage, which he is not resistant to. You know, like rears back.
Yeah, get some.
Oh my god.
Such an elegant
Can
cleric.
the Guardian of Faith be attacked? Like,
No.
yeah.
Yeah, it's just there to deal damage, and then it goes away.
All right.
I mean, it can be dispelled, like spells and stuff. That's what it is.
Okay. Now your turn. Archie, you're up.
All right.
Oh, I forgot. By the way, when you did your attack, your reaction attack,
Yeah.
you should have also taken so 11 fire damage, but then half for you, so 5.
Thanks for that. All right.
Can-
So,
But now it's
Can
your
I-
actual turn.
Sorry, can I do a bonus action for healing word on Archie?
Yeah.
I meant to do that. I just forgot.
You're out of range though, isn't it? 30 feet.
Oh, am I?
Yeah.
Healing
Each
word?
square is 6.
Yeah,
Each
we're-
square is 10 feet.
Dang. Sorry, Archie.
it's all right.
But
It's
you
okay.
got your attacks
Oh,
now.
60. It's 60.
Oh, is it 60? So, I'll say if you did it before you moved, that'll work.
It's 1d4, so it's not going to be much, but it'll be something.
All right.
Whoa, come back. 3.
I'll take it. Thank you. All right, and I am going to do my straight up sword attack.
All right.
Well, double. First one is 15 plus 15 plus 6, 21.
That hits.
Right, so he's going to do 8 points of slashing damage, and then
And it is a magical sword, so it's magical.
It is,
slashing
yeah.
damage,
and use the bonus action to cast Branding Smite, which is 2d6 radiant.
Ooh, okay.
It's 3, so 9 points of radiant damage.
Okay.
Before we could do much further, Healing Word is actually plus your spellcasting ability modifier, so you do get a little bit more juice out of that.
Ooh, nice.
You also take another 10 fire damage from the spatter of its scalding blood.
Thus negating. Okay, cool. And second sword attack.
Does Branding Smite do anything other than just the radiant damage, or is there's not a saving throw?
I think that one. That's
Okay,
it.
I'm thinking Blinding Smite. Never mind.
Attack. Oh no, I'm sorry. Is this? No, this. Yeah. Right. Branding. Yeah, it doesn't say.
Okay, well, if it doesn't say, then I would say no. All right. So second attack.
And second one is 25,
That hits.
which is gonna do 1d6.
Branding Smite is to make invisible things also visible. It's a side effect.
14 points magical slashing,
All right.
and that's all I can do.
So Archie, that was another 3, my modifier. So 6 total.
Right on.
Okay, and then with the second slash, you take another 8 fire damage, so halved to 4.
Got it.
All right. You guys are
Bounce
doing
around.
some damage on this thing. You're whittling it down.
Just like a forest.
It's Andrew's turn. She's gonna fire 2 more short bow arrows. That's a miss. That is a hit. That's another 4 damage. All right. Now that makes it this thing's turn again. And as it starts its turn, this officer guy here, Archie, Alaric, and basically everything within 5 feet of it is going to take. It's going to take 9 fire damage, and these buildings ignite.
Yeesh.
Your snake too.
Right, yeah.
Yeah. And
Catches
then
fire or takes 9 points of damage.
takes 9 points of fire damage.
Okay.
It doesn't catch into flames. But then it actually vanishes and reappears right here.
Son of a bitch.
Oh no.
Oh, don't forget about Andrew again.
I did Andrew's turn.
You did Andrew?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So, but it yes, it just teleported across the field. Actually, no. I think it intuited. I'm trying to think whether I'm gonna have it roll an intelligence check to see if it guessed that Melicanth was the one to deal with. It's actually pretty smart, but we'll see. But it only rolled a 9, and so I say it does go this way.
God damn it. Brute Shama, damn it!
You can take it, hopefully.
But it doesn't want to.
Okay, but teleporting is its action, so it doesn't do any other attacks this turn. So that was another round. You guys are actually you're making some headway on it. Do you want to keep going, or?
I'm good to go, but
Mark's
Yeah.
call. Mark.
Why not?
All right.
I want to see this thing in the ground.
Yeah.
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 Did the snake teleport with it?
No, it
Did the snake
teleported out of.
It wasn't even
the snake
wrapped around
hadn't
its
had its
feet.
turn yet.
Oh, right.
I thought I could summon it on it. Like,
Well, you
not-
can't summon it already grappling it. I mean, you could summon it like
Like-
over its head and it would fall on it, but it didn't have its turn yet. It has to take its action to try to grapple him. Sorry. Technically, even if he was grappled, it could teleport from out from within it, though.
out from under it, though?
Yeah.
Wow, okay.
Well, it's just like Misty Step or teleport. I mean, it just turns into
Yeah,
nothing.
got it.
It hasn't
doesn't-
come up
I've used
very
it to my
often. It's a fair
advantage.
question. This is not.
That's fair. So what I'm telling you is, yes, it teleported away. The snake is stayed where it was.
Okay.
All right.
All right, it is Alaric's turn though. You actually
I can
probably can't see
dwarf.
where it went, but you can hear it kind of off in that direction.
Yeah. I got to beat feet down that alley. I'm going to dash, so I'll get the 5 squares.
There you go,
And I'll
like
take the
that.
diagonal in the corner just to get a little bit closer.
Sure.
And then, 50 feet away?
Yep.
That's within range for the crossbow.
All right.
So I will give the crossbow a swing. Ooh, 22 to hit.
That hits.
Yay. It's got an ally next to it,
Yes.
so I do go sneak attack damage. That's 16 points.
Okay. And it's still all piercing damage, non-magical, right?
Yes. No, it's just plain old piercing.
Yeah. All right. So, got it. Okay. It is the veteran's turn now, but only one of them has line of sight. So I think that they're going to try to move and get where they can. Only these two are able to take their attacks though, and but they both hit, and it's takes another 4 total damage. All right. The guards are out helping civilians. The general makes his own short bow attack. And he actually fires 2 arrows. I had this worked out, and he hits with both times. He does another 5 damage. And then Melicanth's turn. She is going in this direction. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Flying in the air. That gets her to. Let's see, what can she do from this range? That would be. She's gonna cast Lightning Bolt at a 6th level slot. So that's another extra 3d6.
Nice.
So it makes a dexterity saving throw, which is a 14. That's not good enough. 8d6. So that's actually going to be 11d6 lightning damage. Although it carries an electric sword, so it's not necessarily
Right.
vulnerable to lightning. So let's see. That's 8, 17, 24, 26. That's 8 total. 30, 33.
Ooh, yeah.
So it does take only half of that, but that's still 16.
Mm-hmm.
And it's looking definitely weak, very weakened now compared to when it first appeared. All right. And actually, Melicanth, I think, senses that after she casts her lightning spell. She just says, "Careful, it may try to run."
Don't give him ideas.
Okay, so that was Melicanth's turn. So Amethyst. Oh wait, no, your snake gets a turn. Sorry, I kind of skipped
Yeah, I
over
don't
it.
even know what the hell to do about that snake now.
Yeah, well, what's its
It's-
movement? You can
I
have
think
it.
it's 30. Let me check.
Yeah, 30 feet. So I mean, you can have it move in that direction.
Squinch on over there. Yeah,
All right.
that was not a good choice.
Well, yeah.
Um,
You didn't know it could teleport.
is
You
it?
know now.
All right, so your turn.
Is it considered a humanoid or it's a total full-on
No, it's a
demon, right?
fiend.
I'm going to. I want to run away, but that won't work. So I'm going to try. I'm going to cast. Let's see, blight on it. Let me try blight.
Light. Okay.
Uh,
Is that a Constitution save?
It's a Constitution save, and it's 30-foot range. I think I'm close enough.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it is pretty good at Constitution saves, but let's
I
see.
know.
And it also rolls an advantage. It's a tough thing. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's got a 30.
It was necrotic damage. I thought if it did hit, it would do some damage.
It takes half the damage.
Does it still even if it
Yep,
saves?
it's half.
Oh yeah, okay. If
Actually,
yeah.
Shoot! Thank you for reading
No.
that, Mark.
Yeah.
It takes
No, that's
58
good.
necrotic damage on a failed save, or half that much damage
So
on a
it did
successful. No, that's
succeed.
right. That's
But-
right. Yeah. The wording was a little different than most of them, but it does still take half the damage on a successful save.
Okay, yeah. So go ahead and roll your 8d8, and it'll take half of that in terms of necrotic damage.
It's probably not a plant.
But it is also not resistant to necrotic damage.
Okay. And then. So that's 29.
Okay, so it takes half of that, so that's another 14.
No.
Oh.
It takes 29 because that was half.
29 was
88.
half?
Yeah,
It's 88.
it was 88.
Wow. All right, great. This thing is definitely looking pretty rough now.
Yay! Thank you, Mark. I was just gonna be like, oh, well,
That was
That's one of your yeah. It's actually looking really like scared now. Like it had no idea that you guys were going to be capable of this much resistance.
threw it in the house. No
With
kidding.
resistance.
Yeah. All right. It is the archer's turn now. And the brigadier general is going to. Oh man. Okay. So only half of the archers are able to attack it because these don't have line of sight on it anymore. They're moving in that direction, but so it takes another 8 damage from that. From their volleys, their archer volleys.
Nice.
All right, Nira, you're up. This thing's towering over you, looking really weak now.
All right, so I am going to cast Destructive Wave.
Okay.
Wicked look in the eye.
It is a Constitution saving throw. However, I am also going to use Channel Divinity with Destructive Wrath. So
Okay.
I will do maximum damage, and if
Yeah,
it
you are.
succeeds,
Okay, hang on. I'm just looking up the spell just to.
Oh, that's rude.
Okay. Yeah. So it is making the Constitution save, and I think it's a 29, so that's a success. But
okay.
But go ahead and roll your damage.
Okay, so it's 5d6.
Oh, well, and you're doing your max damage, but
Right,
it'll
but it
attack.
only counts for the thunder damage, thunder or lightning. But I also have 5d6 for radiant, so I'll have to roll for that in a second. So it's
That's rude.
30 thunder damage, but half that's a 15.
Mhm.
And then, let's see. We have 12, 17, 22. So another 11.
All right. So to borrow a phrase from another popular D&D show, how do you want to do this?
So as I stare this thing down, not moving because I am not going to be proven a coward, she wanted to run. I will unleash the fury of the destructive wave, and it passes through this demon and just shatters its body into a bunch of little like pieces, like, blasting that way. So it might set something on fire, but it would be really cool.
Actually, as soon as each of the piece sort of shatters backwards, as each sort of chunk collides with a building or something, it just poof into ash. And so there's basically now you can see along like this side of this building and like this bit too, just like the whole little sort of blast radius there of just, you know, soot along all of those surfaces, but this thing just disintegrates.
Who knew all the time that the body made of ashes? It was nothing but a pure ash hole.
All right. I think on that moment of victory, we'll go ahead and call it a close for tonight. But great job, you guys. I wasn't sure how that was going to go.
Oh,
I wasn't either. I freaking love Blight, though. That's the second time it's been clutch.
It's
Really?
good to know.
Yeah. Oh.
Yes. I got the killing blow. I'm so excited about that.
I thought for a second it was possible that the archers might get it, but I think, you know, that wouldn't have been as fun. I mean, like, and it didn't work out that way anyway. I didn't cheat it, but it was just one of those things where it was getting pretty low. So, but yeah, good job, you guys.
very nice.
Yes.
That was definitely worth staying up for.
Amethyst walks over
Yeah.
and snuggles up with her giant snake and is so happy it didn't get sizzled. And
Nira
burned.
poses victoriously
Snuzzle.
as the ash flutters in the air.
That one's
I would
for
imagine
Instagram.
as you're standing there in your moment of victory, the breeze just does blow up a little bit and blows a little bit of it back in your face.
And I'd be pointing out to the guards. You see that? You were here for this story.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking
The
about.
brigadier general is kind of you hear him kind of off behind you, just saying, "All right, you men, we're not done yet. Put out these fires."
Oh, right, the fire. Yeah.
Don't worry about it. We're calling it for tonight, but that's just kind of that's how things
Okay,
are
we
kind of.
won. The house burns down. Oh.
Yeah. Unless 10 gallons of water will save a couple buildings. I ain't got much for it anyway.
Well, you know, all things considered, I think they're going to be able to put.
I got a lot of beer to use.
All right, so
Cycle.
thank you guys, and thank you everyone for listening and or watching. If you're catching us later, and those of you who are in the chat, thanks Mother Dragon for sticking with us. I know we had a few people
Yay.
in there earlier. I don't know if everyone is able to hang around for the whole thing, but great job, you guys. I think that was an excellent episode 50.
Yes.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Thank you for all of the adventures, Christiana.
Yes, thank you, Christiana.
So many fun ones.
I'm just so grateful that we have been able to have a campaign that's been able to last and hold together this way. I know that that's not a common thing, and I am extremely grateful to you guys that you make time for this, and I'm glad you have fun. It's fun for me too, and just the fact that we've been able to tell this story together is amazing.
Oh, I love you guys.
Feels.
Yeah, Chooch is just like fails.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and stop the stream, but thank you everybody for watching.